Key symptoms may cause a decrease in some types of antibodies. The most common side effects are upper respiratory tract infection, headache, and injection reactions.
When I'm ready, I spend less than 1 minute a month taking Key Symptom. How I spend the rest of my time is up to me.
Ask your doctor about treating RMS with Key Symptom. You inspired Alexis ES to be.
What's going on, everybody? John on here with you. It's going to be a little bit of a nervous broadcaster here, admittedly, because it's a hometown team going for something tangible. We haven't had anything like that in Michigan in about 10 seasons. I'm talking about pro teams, but now this is Michigan college hockey. As we'll get Alec in here right now, I will get you into the starting lineups and everything else, get you a little preambles. We're about 5 minutes away from puck drop, so we'll get into the starting lineups. We'll start with the Quinnipiac Bobcats. It'll be Sam Lipkin, Jacob Quillian, and Collin Graf, Desi Berger, Skylar Brind'Amour, Ethan DeYoung, Christophe Filion, Victor Checlinaire, and Christophe Tellier, Michael Lombardi, TJ Friedman, and Joey Ciplione. On defense, it'll be Jake Johnson and Zach Metza, Jaden Lee, CJ McGee, Avari Rossinen, and Jacob Northquist. They'll carry an extra defenseman. Charles Alexis Legault and Yaniv Perets will tend the net for the Bobcats. And for the Michigan Wolverines, it sounds like this. Dylan Duke, TJ Hughes, and Mackie Samuskevich. Rucka McGorty, Adam Fantilli, Gavin Brindley, Jackson Halliam, Frank Nazer, and Eric Ciccolini. Mark Ostapa, Nick Granowitz, and Nolan Moyle. On defense, it'll be Luke Hughes, Keaton Pearson, Ethan Edwards, Seamus Casey, Jake Kiernan, and Stephen Holtz. Their extra defense will be Luca Fantilli, and in goal will be Eric Portillo for the Wolverines. Alec, thank you for joining me for this one. Admittedly, I'm going to be a little nervous. This might be a little bit of a Michigan slant, but I'm ready to go for this, my friend. I know Quinnipiac can bring a lot on that end, but I'm very excited.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for this matchup, too. Man, if Michigan goes on to the national championship game, man, just imagine the offensive firepower in that potential national championship game between them and Minnesota, because Minnesota already won their game against BU. And now we await this. Michigan is tied for the top offensive team in the country of Minnesota, and Quinnipiac has the best defense in the entire country.
Yes, they do. So I can lead into some of this per College Hockey Inc. You want to go to that website if you need some information. For Jason Haydu, when they talk about some of the lead-ins, so Quinnipiac 32-4-3, they've been the hottest team in the field. They've won 18 of 21 games since Christmas. And on the other end, Michigan Wolverines are 26-11-3. They won the Allentown Regional against Colgate 11-1, and it was a thrilling overtime win against Penn State. But I've seen Yaniv Perets. I covered it last year in the Frozen Four between these two when it was a Michigan 7-4 win last year. But Perets has 10 shutouts on the season, which leads college hockey.
And he's a finalist for the Mike Richter Award as well. So there's also that.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot to talk about. How does this sound? 32-4-3 with a 146 goals against and a 932 save percentage. That almost seems made up, but those are actual numbers for Yaniv Perets.
I mean, this looks like if you're playing NHL 23 via pro mode and you're on rookie mode, where you're playing goaltender, it's kind of person in a nutshell.
Eric Portillo on the other end, he's been in Michigan for the last couple of years. His numbers are admittedly down, but he's still 6'6", I believe, maybe 6'7". So Adam Fantilli, they're talking about he might be the second pick in the draft. He's going to get set to take this draw against Quinnipiac. We'll be underway. So we're at Amalie Arena right now in Tampa Bay. This is going to be the site of the Frozen Four. The Golden Gophers are awaiting the winners between the Wolverines or the Bobcats. And I'm very excited for this one. So it'll be right to left. Quinnipiac are going to be in the yellow and blue jerseys, and then the pretty much maize and blue on the other from Michigan per usual with the blue jersey tops, as this is put out across the left side of the face-off dot and spun around the end boards now. Bobcats will be first to it as they have Michigan pressed in deep, and their pass goes off the embankment to the left side boards, and it's a long flip from about 100 feet. As this is picked up back by Johnson, he's going to have to absorb a hit near the players' bench, and everybody's just going to go out and take a change. So Ram Pecknold has been a long-time coach for the Quinnipiac Bobcats. And again, he was part of the USA development program when we watched USA and Canada in the World Juniors. He's been there for about 35 seasons, I want to say, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, as we're under the first minute here. This is an ESPN2 broadcast John Henry with you on the play-by-play alongside Alec Nava, who I'm very thankful to have because I'd be nervous if I was just by myself, admittedly. We've done a lot of games, but this is the first time I get to watch a hometown team try to win anything tangible.
Yeah, and you look at that, and Grant Pecknell being with Quinnipiac for 29 seasons thus far, as Michigan has iced a puck to begin with, just 108 into this game. And on the other side, you got Brandon Dorado, who's recently been named the full-time head coach of Michigan.
Yes, he was. The situation before that for Mel Pearson is he was falsifying COVID documents and having players play that weren't eligible. That got him canned, so now it's going to be Dorado for a 5-year deal. And all intents and purposes, the young man's done a great job. He just got his extension, like Alex said. So you got to get that back on track. You know about the Michigan program. They're always trying to get something tangible here, but this is going to be a big-time test. As Eric Portillo now will make this pass, and this is right for Michigan now, as they can go left to right across into the neutral zone. They'll make the pass, and the left side boards is try to get picked up by Frank Nazer. But now the Bobcats flip it. This one bounces high up in the air and goes into the players' bench in 1809.
So you look at this 1809. I'm a little behind on the play right now, but you get that shot up over to the players' bench when Quinnipiac was trying to move up that puck. And for Quinnipiac, I got to be praising their defense here because, man, they've been outstanding in that area. I know Griffin has to call for his university on the other side for his guys.
Yes, he does, and I made the mention to give him the shout-out as well. So either way on that side, it'll all be family on the part of the broadcast, but I'm going to try my best to call this one straight down the middle. And between Quinnipiac and Michigan, you can say it plain as day. It's two defensive different styles. Michigan wants to press, Quinnipiac wants to block shots and trust Yaniv Perets to make the save. So now Michigan does have it deep, as this is Sammy Samskevich who's trying to get this one around, and this is picked off now. It's going to be an opportunity for Quinnipiac, and now the Maize and Blue will get this in their own end. Really don't have a shot yet to speak of. About 17:40 left to go in this first, as we're at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. This will be the site of the Frozen Four in the national championship on Saturday. Minnesota is waiting for their opponent, as they played a pretty good game against the Boston University Terriers. That high-powered offense that Minnesota can feature. If Michigan wins this one, it'll be an all-Big Ten final. I think a lot of people will be up for that, as Gavin Brind'Amour has to absorb a hit on that side. And that was a big-time body contact near the right boards. Can't tell these college players that they can't play at a high level. There is so many NHL draft picks on the board here, as Brind'Amour tries to get a piece of it now on the right side red line, but he is being hounded by Desi Bogart, and Bogart has it now. And so play this off the backhand, having to get through a couple hits. Michigan able to float this in. Are we going to get a penalty call is the question at 16:55.
And Gavin Brind'Amour was taking a beating out on the ice. Like 1 hit, 2 hits, maybe even 3 hits on that possession. So we get our first penalty of this game. Is this against Quinnipiac, I'm guessing?
This is going to be against Michigan. I see the call on that side. I'm going to pull up the college hockey box when it goes up and the ESPN side, just in case that it goes through. But Quinnipiac is going to go to the power play.
It's Ethan Edwards in the box right now, so he's going to sit for 2 minutes here. So let's see. Because, yes, it's a hold. Yes, grab one of Quinnipiac's guys right there. It was Ethan DeJong that he grabbed right into jersey. And out there on the ice right there is Skylar Brind'Amour and ESPN. Previously had an interview with his father, Rod, who's coaching the Carolina Hurricanes in their game against the Nashville Predators tonight.
Very good bloodlines, Alec, on that side. You hear that last name, you think about destined for greatness. So Michigan penalty kills 77%, which is not all that great. 52nd in D1. Quinnipiac's power play 23%, which is pretty good. So this could be something to watch. The specialty teams matchup between the Bobcats and the Wolverines. It's the Bobcats now on the power play. John, you're with you on the call alongside Alec Nava. And no matter what happens, I will have the Saturday championship game. I was able to get that off, so we will cover that in its entirety, as this is an opportunity now for the Bobcats. They'll pick this up now on the left side of the red line. Luke Hughes trying to chase this out. All intents and purposes, he's going to do some heavy damage with his brother in New Jersey on Jack's side. As this is picked up now for the Bobcats, they will move this across. Here's a short side chance that was lifted high over the shoulder of Portillo, but the Wolverines can't get it out. Here's some good puck movement and an even better block on the other end as it goes down to the left side of the red line. As this is picked up by Estapa, and he will backhand this one out for Michigan. They will go ahead and take their change, but Quinnipiac, still 1:20 to go in the first power play of the contest. About 16-10 left to go in this first to get a stoppage puck out of play. So we have 1:19 left to go here on the Quinnipiac power play. And I am just watching the Michigan band right now, trying to urge their team on. You have a really good band on both sides, and all of it always in college athletics. I always think about the Ohio State band, especially on the football side. They are incredible at getting everything done. College athletics, the rush for sports, and everything else, it's all about the passion and the pageantry on top of everything else that you see. It's always just a wonderful time as Sam Lipkin brings this in. This goes loose in the high slot. There's a chance for Dizzy Bogert, and this one bounces off the high-end glass, and then Michigan able to clear it down. 50 seconds left on the power play, and it is Yaniv Perets. He will make the play to his defensive set, and they can settle this down and go right to left as this is picked up by Quinnipiac, and they will just curiously flip this back in their own end. Michigan might be able to get something with Gavin Brind'Amour, but now maybe that was a design just to try to get Michigan to chase as it was 3-on-1. Here's the clear. We'll see if Michigan can get to it first. As now it's in behind the net in the office of Eric Portillo. This will go back to D. And this will be flipped, chipped out of the air, picked up by Quinnipiac, and that was a good idea off the pass in the middle of the slot, but this goes just wide, and we'll have to regain the entry to the Bobcats. This will touch the stick of Portillo. This is an office jam in the middle and behind the net. Portillo wanted some contact, but we're still live here. As this bounces off the backside of the cage, wide open in the middle of the slot. Quinnipiac can get the shot off. Here's the pass across. And oh, it didn't go. They couldn't get a shot. And now this goes in the high slot. This goes off Portillo's stick. And now behind the net. And Quinnipiac scores. Oh my goodness, that was bouncing everywhere. And Quinnipiac probably should have scored 30 seconds ago, but they do so now at 14:41.
Oh, did that hit the back of Portillo's jersey?
I think a third opportunity did, and this might be Jacob Quinlan's goal. That puck was going everywhere, and it bounced off the backside of the jersey and in. It's a bank goal for the Bobcats.
I mean, all sorts of movements around in this power play. All over the slot as well, and Quinlan, that's a smart goal by him.
It is. It really is.
Behind the back of the net, off Portillo's jersey and in. He was playing pinball there.
So Jacob Quinlan, his 17th goal of the season, is third in the tournament. As this is an opportunity here for Michigan to try to get within even. If I remember this game last year correctly, even though it was a 7-4 win for Michigan, they did get the first goal of the game in their first meeting again. Quinnipiac is not a team to play with. If they can get a 2 or 3 goal lead here, especially on this rush, it's a 3-on-1, and here's the pullback. And Michigan with a diving play, that might have been Hughes. And now it's Samoskevich. You see he's ridden hard in the right side wall. And this is try to get picked up and saved. And this is only for the moment as this goes in the high slot. Michigan shoots, and that one fires off the right side of the pad of Yaniv Perets. Sent back down the ice now. 13:40 left to go in this first. John Underwood in the call alongside Alec Nava again. Admittedly, a little bit nervous, but I will try to call this as straight down the middle as I can, as this is flipped up in the air. This goes off the right side boards. Jacob Quinlan with the pinball wizard on the back of Eric Portillo. Just a beautiful goal after the absolute chaos. Ciccolini can't find it. And now Quinnipiac tries to get this across the wall, as it's an opportunity now for Michigan to enter off the toe drag. Beautiful move to the net and scores! Michigan ties it!
That was quick. That was a quick response by Michigan. And if you remember the last time around, Penn State scored first in the Allentown Regional Final. Michigan responded in kind to that third period. Both of the first 2 goals were on power plays. It was Adam Fantilli, the tying goal. Not sure who gets this one, but we'll get a replay of this. I believe it's Seamus Casey who has this goal.
Seamus Casey with the wizardry gets to the net and beats Perets' forehand. Gorgeous goal.
Oh, he's got the moves like Jagger. And I mean Jagger as in both Jagger and probably Yarmir Jagger, if I'm guessing that correctly.
Yes, you are. It is a 1-1 tie now. That makes me feel a little bit better, as it's now 12:55 left to go in the first. Two gorgeous goals, one by Quinlan and now Seamus Casey, as he just beat three defenders. There's some good body contact against Rossinen, the third-line defense for Ram Pecknell's squad. And now Gavin Brind'Amour will settle this down as they'll play this back D to D. And Michigan will try to pick it up as they go left to right. Brind'Amour with the drop. Fantilli, he's going to shoot one from about 70 feet. This goes off the left side boards. And now Fantilli trying to keep this alive in the offensive end, but this will go across the block end. Now the offensive entry, but they're offside with 12:25.
And Brandon Navarro knows that it's going to take more than offensive talent to beat this Quinnipiac squad, especially since Quinnipiac looks like an NCAA mirror image of the New York Islanders, in my opinion.
That's a really good call by you. And if you want to talk about Ilya Sorokin in the sense of Yaniv Perets, I'm all here for it, Alec. He's as good as it gets.
Very much so.
Well, again, my friend, I am very glad that you're along to help calm my nerves in this game. Again, I have the rosters in front of me per College Hockey Inc. That's how I do it from the previous game's box score. It has it as plain as day. That's where I can get the information and try to get the prep. So let me lead into a little bit of prep here during this commercial break for some of our listeners or anything delayed between Twitter Spaces or the podcast or YouTube. So again, as we talked about, Quinnipiac at 32-4-3. Sophomore teammate Collin Graf from Lincoln, Mass. is also a Hobey Baker finalist. He's got 20 goals and 56 points through 39 games. We talked about Yaniv Perets with the 10 shutouts. He leads D1 and wins with 32 and a save percentage of .932. Again, it almost sounds made up on that end, but that's actually true. And when you're thinking about it, the freshman class for the Michigan Wolverines, they're one of the youngest teams in college hockey. They've racked up 238 points combined, the freshman class, 90 goals, 148 assists, by far the most in the Frozen Four field. And freshman forward, Hobey Baker finalist Adam Fantilli from Nobelton, Ontario, leads the nation in points. It's 35 games played. He's got 64 points, and he's projected to be a top 3 pick in this year's draft.
Pretty much the consensus number 2 pick. And you can make the argument that he'll be number 1 had it not been for Connor Bedard and his ridiculous wizardry over the WHL.
Yep, that's everything that we hear about that. We know Connor Bedard is the consensus one. We've been waiting for Adam Fantilli, and admittedly, I will say this about Fantilli. When I watched him in the World Juniors, it seemed like everybody was deferring to Bedard, and for good reason. I'm not complaining on that side, but as soon as he stepped back into a Wolverines uniform, he kind of transformed himself back into a player that everybody expected. Seamus Casey, they're showing the recent goal. He's a 2022 second-round pick of the New Jersey Devils. And boy, Alec, that team is going to be really good. And they should have a fun playoff push. They might be playing against the New York Rangers this year.
Yep.
As this is played now in behind the net. And Portillo took a look at it, but now this goes in through the neutral zone. Michigan trying to pick this up across the red line in between the players' bench, but this will fall to Quinnipiac. Here's a good-looking outstretched pass, but it goes a little too far, and this will allow Seamus, who just scored the goal, to pick this one back up in his own end. Here's a good entry pass there. Samoskevich had to get thrown through a couple bowling pins, and now Quinnipiac able to flip this in. It's Desi Bogart as he gets this around the zebra, as it's picked up down near the right side of the red line. And now Quinnipiac has this in deep, looking for a pass in the slot. And I don't know if Michigan threw this back into Portillo on accident. It really wasn't a shot, but he makes the save.
Oh, as I'm looking at it right now, Quinnipiac was looking for the pass right in front. Yeah, there was a shot attempt by number 4 of Quinnipiac. I'm looking at Michael Lombardi, the left shot graduate from Barrington, Rhode Island. That was a shot attempt and a pass attempt. He tried to get this on. Maybe the defender got the stick in the way that had the shot puck going slow moving towards Portillo's way. So not really a dangerous chance there for Quinnipiac.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's the line of Lombardi, Friedman, and Ciplione, as this is on the other end now, and this is stopped by the right glove of Yaniv Perets. And this is an opportunity here for Quinnipiac to gain the entry. Portillo play this with the goal stick a little more calmly this time, as Michigan needs to get settled. They almost ran into each other back in their own end. And this is picked up now. Maggie Samoskevich He was back in his own end now with TJ Hughes, no relation to Luke Hughes. It's 1 shot, 1 goal, but now probably 2 off of the dump in there for Michigan. 4 shots for Quinnipiac. It's a 1-1 tie as we've almost hit the halfway marker of the first period. Portillo had his lunch money stolen in behind the net now. This will give Quinnipiac an opportunity to get some puck possession, and this is a race. And toward the right side dot, looking for a no-look backhand attempt. And now it's a 1-on-1 the other way. Michigan trying to make some moves. Good defense there by Quinnipiac as this goes D to D now near the right side of the red line. And this is misplayed off the backhand as this try to get picked up now by Quinnipiac near the right side wall. Casey will fire. This one gets flubbed on as Jacob Quinlan on the first line here for Rampecno squad. He'll make the drop pass. And this is a good shot on. And this is saved by Portillo in the stomach.
I just have to adjust myself to get on the same page as you are on the video feed. So just an easy stop by Eric Portillo there, the LA Kings prospect. Just remember that Buffalo traded away.
They did.
They committed to Devon Levi, and Levi just recently made his Buffalo Sabres debut. Interestingly, he kind of looks like Carey Price.
He does, and it looks like Levi is probably going to get another win right now. My last check of what I saw was a 4-2 lead for the Sabres over the Red Wings as they're trying to stay in the playoff hunt.
Both these teams are trying to stay in playoff hunt, though. Detroit may be on the brink of elimination by this point. Buffalo, they're trying to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yes, they are. Fantilli trying to keep this puck alive in the offensive end, and this will be an opportunity off the backhand. A good defense. Casey able to get the clear. And from about 40 feet, Michigan has this in the offensive end now as Bobcats try to transition into the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-2. Good skate ahead off the toe drag. Trying to keep it alive, and it goes near the left side of the crease. That was almost wizardry again. These college hockey players are tremendous. As Quinnipiac has this now on the high slot, looking for a pass instead. A no-look backhand, and that was stopped by the right pad of Portillo. As Fantilli tries to get this out. This stays with Quinnipiac in the offensive end. A series of drags before the shot. This goes now near the left side boards, and now in behind the office of Portillo. Michigan flubs on the clearing attempt. This will allow Quinnipiac to get it again, looking for a deflection into the slap shot. And this is sent back down here for Johnson as he puts this back around the end boards. Seamus will take a look at it, and here's a long flip by Michigan as they'll get this sent down the ice, and that was much needed. But here comes Quinnipiac the other way. Good glove save by Portillo.
And he had to make that reactionary stop because that was coming right towards his glove hand. Because the shooter was looking right side the entire way. Portillo stared him down. I think that was Jake Johnson, no relation to the actor of the same name.
Absolutely, on that side, Jake Johnson with the rush through. And on the other end, it was Skylar Brind'Amour as the pass went through the left side of the crease, just went past Eric Portillo as we go to commercial break. So what do you think of this game so far, Alec? It's pretty even on both sides, is it not?
So far, so good. Pretty much even. Both teams are equally matched, and I'm impressed by both these guys.
Yeah, this is a fun matchup so far. Again, I enjoyed it a lot last year, and it wasn't admittedly just because of the Michigan win. It's now a 4-4 tie. I guess the Red Wings have scored a pair of goals here. Alex Chason in 1604 and Simona Edmondson in 1652. So the young man is continuing to get some playing time. The Red Wings brass had noted that because Marco Kasper was kind of playing with a broken kneecap, he played one game tough through it. He was already hurt before the call-up. They're shutting him down for the rest of the year. But it's a 4-4 tie as we've just entered the third period between the Sabres and the Red Wings.
My guess is that they want Kasper ready at 100% for next season. They want to get him back into the lineup. But Edmondson, I like the call-up that the Red Wings made with Simon Edmondson. And he's one of their top prospects. Was a former 6th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
No, he's another one of those big-bodied defensemen that they want to dream team pair with Mort Sider. But if Jake Wallman has anything to say about that, Jake Wallman's probably not going to lose his first pairing spot because he's been great since coming over from the Blues.
The big-time acquisition of trading away Nick Leddy, and Leddy originally brought in for veteran leadership and now trade away for Wallman, who's pretty much an defensive stalwart opposite Sider who can bring some stretch of offense and score clutch goals. Such as,
Yes, he can. And when we get into the commercial break, we will go across the NHL scoreboard, and I will give you the reset as I have the stats in front of me in between Boston University Terriers and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So we will start with that one first when we get into the intermission. But still, 8:45 left to go in this first. It's a 1-1 tie between the 3-seeded Michigan Wolverines to Quinnipiac. Here's a break. Scores! Quinnipiac strikes quickly, and they have the lead. I'm going to take a look to see who got the shot off, but I know this is the first line. This could be Sam Lipkin. This could be Quinlan again. So I believe this is going to be Jacob Quinlan. I'm going to take a look at it now near the right side wall. Here's a great looking back pass into the neutral zone. And yep, Jacob Quinlan deposits his second of the game, his 16th of the season, and the Bobcats take a 2-1 lead. That is a perfect pass into the neutral zone.
Man, I'm seeing a defensive breakdown for Michigan on that end, but that pass set that all up.
Yes, it did, as this is a new game again. Quinnipiac has the lead, and maybe this will be a goal-scoring explosion. I'm not sure how Michigan is going to feel about that. Yaniv Perets, I think you caught a few more in his direction. Michigan could be in real trouble, considering. I understand the firepower that they have, but seeing Perets last year, again, he made about 55 saves in that loss. And here we come again. Here's a 2-on-0 pass across. Oh, stopped by Portillo. Breakdowns everywhere. Bobcats have the puck. And now they have this near the right side dot, near the right side red line. Mark that one down for Portillo. Bobcats dangerous. Portillo brushes it aside with the goal stick. This should honestly be 3-1 right now. Quinnipiac has turned that dial up to 11 as it's 7:40 left to go in the first. Here's the entry. I think it's Quinlan again looking for a hat, and this one goes in the air.
Oh, I'm in disbelief. Wow. Just don't have any words to say about this game. I'll just let the play speak for itself.
That is a right pad stretch and a beauty for Eric Portillo. He's got to be thinking, please stop these breakdowns behind me. I know I'm 6'6", but give me some help here. As this is an opportunity now, TJ Hughes off the back pass, and Seamus Casey will get an opportunity to collect. Again, Quinnipiac has taken the lead. Quinlan with his second. Seamus Casey, he was the one putting on the whirling dervish that put Michigan on the board, and now this will go back. Here's a chance for Dylan. He tries to make a pass to the right side boards, wanting the slap shot. Here's Casey now. Here's the drag. Good pass across. Michigan fires. This is off the left pad of Perets. And here's a good stop. It knocked one of Michigan's sticks out of the hands on defense, but it was needed. This one almost went off the side of the cage, as this will stay with the Wolverines now. Picked up by the defense. Off the backhand. They will pivot and hold. It's an opportunity now for Hughes, as this is put in around the end boards. Quinnipiac trying to get this out of the defensive end, and they do. Michigan will have to check up into the neutral zone now. 6:40 left to go in the first. The shots on goal are 8-4, advantage of Quinnipiac. It's a pair of goals for Quinlan. He's got 17 on the year and 2 in this game. As here's an entry now, and a good-looking entry again. Quinnipiac starting to get in the zone with ease, and that was stopped by Portillo.
And Michigan needs that. They want to get back into this game. They're down by 1 goal once again, and yeah, they need to get some more of these chances for the maize and blue. By new shots right towards, I don't know where, possibly pinpoint a weakness in Perez' game, if there is any.
Yeah, the only way you can pinpoint the weakness, Alec, as you said, is that goes up the blocker, Portillo. The only way you can pinpoint the weakness is by firing shots and getting it into the zone. You can't apply a weakness if you can't get shots on. As this is an opportunity off of a bomb of a cross pass. This will stay with the Wolverines. They'll take this D-to-D, try to get a shot on that was flubbed. Instead, they'll drive this off the outside of the cage, and this is picked up by Pearson. It's Hughes. He hits this off the pad. This goes in between the wickets back into the neutral zone. Sent back down off a long flip. Here we go again with Quinnipiac. They'll hold up. Here's a diving attempt for Michigan. And now send it through the slot. It's behind Portillo. As this is picked up now by Luke Hughes. It's Gavin Brindley. They got to get this out. And Michigan does. I feel like every time Quinnipiac touches this puck, my voice register goes up a beat, but they've been dangerous, Alec.
Man, they have been. And this is another one of those positions why they show why. Because it felt like there was someone. I almost got the feeling that there was someone coming up through the slots, except there wasn't. And you just know that diving attempt by Michigan in the anticipation about that pass. And then nobody came from Quinnipiac to receive that centering feed. It was too late for whoever was coming in to receive that feed.
Yes, it was. Quinlan sit on the draw now. He has been the MVP of this game so far, but we're still in the first as this is put back into the neutral zone and picked up by Perets. So knock this down with the giant goal stick, and Quinnipiac will look to get settled. Here's a good-looking pass from about 80 feet, but this is picked off now. Dylan Duke, he's waiting. Luke Hughes goes off sides with Saki Samskevich, and they have some pushing and shoving here.
Well, I think this might get ugly here when you talk about pushing and shoving. So this might not be as ugly as that rivalry between Minnesota and BU back in the 70s. That was when the rivalry was at its peak. If you remember, there was a bench-clearing brawl that year between the two teams.
That is frowned upon now in college hockey, but not back then, as they showed the stats of Quinnipiac, and I believe I saw this correctly. They only averaged 1.5 goals against, which is the best in D1. So if Michigan get another tally, they'll already be over that marker. Again, Michigan's a totally different team, but still you have to respect Quinnipiac and the defensive efforts, and Jacob Quinlan's making you respect their offensive efforts as this is picked up now into the neutral zone. Be an opportunity for Michigan to be able to enter again, but they're offsides for the third consecutive entry, 5:14 in the first.
And once again, I got to emphasize that it takes more than just offensive talent to be a defensively sound team. That's the message here that Narado's trying to send to his Wolverines. And it's not just as with Fantilli, Brind'Amour, and McGrory, that line formed together to become one of the more dangerous top lines in hockey. It's a complete team effort.
Yep, and when you had Dylan Duke, I know Rucker McGordy's on the second line, you had that part of the Team USA development program as well. So there's a lot of players on this team alongside Luke Hughes, the New Jersey Devils product, that he's going to be playing with Jack here in a little bit, you would imagine, as this is a back pass for Fantilli. Nice looking setup here. Good toe drag into the zone, and Seamus Casey tried to put the moves on again, but he fell down. Casey's going to receive the pass as he makes the move off the back end. Is this Seamus Casey or Luke Hughes? He's kind of looking like Luke. Here's an opportunity now. Here's an opportunity for Hughes off the drop pass. Put across the right side, Fantilli, and Perets saw it all the way. No traffic in front.
I believe Casey got tripped on that possession, so that will lead to a Quinnipiac penalty. So 2 minutes for whoever tripped up Casey.
That is a good look by you. That was kept live, and I was wondering if Casey blew a tire or if he did get tripped, but he get tripped, and that's the call. And Lombardi, he's going to go to the box, and I will make sure I get a look on that right now. It's Michael Lombardi on the fourth line as Michigan goes to the first power play. We go to a break.
There we go.
So we'll have to see now what Michigan can do on the power play. Admittedly, they're going to be able to wheel and deal this puck. Their power play is pretty dangerous on that side, but you can also say for Minnesota, who is waiting, they're probably the best on that end. I'd like to see what Quinnipiac can do on the power play, but both of those goals for Quinlan were even strength. One was a breakaway, and one was off the back side of the jersey of Eric Portillo. Again, I sing the praises of Jacob Quinlan, but Alec, I mean, he's looked really damn good in this game so far.
He's been all over the ice throughout this game. And no matter where you look, it seems that he'll just be there in an instant.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about a couple of the situations where there were a pair of Michigan breakdowns into the neutral zone. A couple times they did get bailed out by Portillo. His save from about the 8-minute marker where he stretched and stacked the pads, that was big time. So they're showing the results of last year's regional final again. I think I blew a voice register for that one. I might have to do that again. We're looking at some of the no-look power play part of it. But again, that is pieces that were on the team that are not on there now when you're thinking about, I don't know, players like are on the Seattle Kraken and Matty Beniers. There's a lot of ammunition lost.
Yeah, you talk about the players over the Jonah transitioning over from Michigan. So Matt, even here, you mentioned one of them, Brind'Amour, also got another ring of Ken Johnson, Owen Power, and Thomas Bordelot.
Yeah.
Bordelot being with the San Jose Sharks. Hasn't seen a lot of action with San Jose.
I believe that is going to be coming on that side as you take a look at Red Berenson. He is in the crowd. He's alive and well here, the Michigan man that has coached this team for a long, long time. He is now taking over here for Brandon Naranjo. This is an opportunity here for Mackie Samoskevich, and this is sent back down the ice. Eric Portillo will play this with the stick, and now it is Luke Hughes. Again, Michigan's power play is very good, about 25%. Quinnipiac's penalty kill about 86. Is Luke Hughes doing the dance. And now it's loose in front on a stop by Perets with the right pad. And now it's Luke Hughes again. Pass in the slot. That one goes wide. Michigan's power play looks good in the first 30 seconds. And now an opportunity for Hughes to settle this down in the offensive end as Michigan looks to stay patient. Fantilli with the pass, the reception from Hughes. Samoskevich looking for a cross. His bounces off the boards. Fantilli can't locate. And now Hughes, he sends it across. Fantilli will receive it. Now Hughes again. Mackie Samoskevich, and that was wrist shotted high. In behind the end boards now at 3:35 as we had a momentary freeze feed, but this is picked up now. Fantilli again. Now the left side dot. Here's a shot. This one gets blocked before it ever hits Perets and sent back down. About 45 seconds left to go. Michigan's power play. Nothing wrong with it so far. Again, if you're Quinnipiac, you have to imagine that you don't want to take any more of these penalties. Michigan's look pretty comfortable here as this is cleared, but this isn't out. Nobody can find where the puck is. This stays in the offensive end here for Michigan. They'll make this pass and contest it into the traffic, trying to look for the one-timer, trying to pull the ball, bank this thing out. Quinnipiac can't. Want to fake the one-timer. Here's it in the high slot now for Seamus Casey. He'll let this go off the left side end boards. Now try to get picked up now by a host of Wolverines. Zach Metza here for Quinnipiac, try to get this out. But now it's down to 10 seconds. It'll go D-to-D again. Here's an opportunity off the left side wall. Michigan will finally lose possession, and this gets cleared down. So Quinnipiac is safe. They have killed the penalty, although that one was pretty eventful. Michigan just 2 shots on goal on that power play, but they were moving the puck all the way around. Still a 2-1 lead. Jacob Quinlan got a pair of goals as Luke Hughes dumps this one in. He was on that power play the whole time, and he's still out there right now. The good old 3-minute shift. It's not very common as this is picked up now. Seamus Casey tries to get a stick on it, but here's Quinnipiac off of the recollection here for the Wolverines as they'll gain the red line and dump this in. Now the Bobcats try to find this near the right side of the face-off dot. They'll pick it up now and try to clear themselves away from a couple of Wolverines. This gets gloved out of the air by Michigan. They try to brush this ahead in the defensive end of the Bobcats, and here's a stretch pass, but this will be iced. It'll be Michigan offensive zone entry here with 1:47.
Everything went right for that power play for Michigan. I didn't see anything wrong there. It's just a good kill by Quinnipiac on that. And it's one of the better power plays in the nation, meant by one of the better penalty kills in the nation. And usually defense wins championships, so Quinnipiac may have the edge.
You got to feel good about that one because, as you said, Alec, I couldn't agree with you more. It was pretty good on both sides. And here's an offensive zone faceoff when Pearson can't hold it. And this is going to allow Quinnipiac to be able to get possession. Fantilli will take a look as they knock this away from Sam Lipton, and now it's a race near the left side red line. Quinnipiac can collect. Now as they gain into the neutral zone, this will be a chip and chase opportunity. See if Michigan can get to there first as they were able to beat Ciplione to the puck. The third line side for Ram Pecknold's squad as this bounces off of Gavin Brindley's backside. This goes in the defensive end of Michigan, but now TJ Hughes will get a chance to make a couple moves and now pick this up. They get the offensive zone entry clean, and now in behind the office of Yaniv Perets. Michigan tries to get this out in front, and this is a good shot blocked by Quinnipiac right near the left circle. As the shots are getting closer to even now, Quinnipiac with a 9-8 edge. We are in the final minute of the first frame. 50 seconds left. Mackie Samoskevich with his pass across tries to get it recepted back to him, and this is picked up off the stick of Michigan trying to find it as Estapa gets knocked down to the ice, and this is picked up now by Michigan back on their own end. Fighting through a couple of stick lifts, Maize and Blue try to get this out there with Edwards. And now Mackie Samoskevich Again with the give and go opportunities. This bounces off the inboards and off the stick of Perets and behind his office. 25 seconds left to go as Desi Bogert has it now. A couple of toe drags here. Now backing into the neutral zone. He'll just go ahead and take his change. Eric Portillo tries to make his pass. It gets partially blocked there by the Bobcats. But Michigan able to get into the neutral zone now. We'll have one more opportunity. It's Quinnipiac for a shot. Here's a pass across attempt down to 4 seconds, down to 3. And this one goes wide of a diving Portillo. And that is going to end the first period. Jacob Quinlan with a pair of goals and an opportunity on the other end for Michigan. It was Seamus Casey with the lone marker for the Wolverines. But at the end of one, 2-1 Quinnipiac. So I will take you through a little bit of this reset, admittedly. I'm going to go ahead and type up some of these goals. And if Alec continues to stay away on that side, if he's got something else going on, I will give you a closeout. I'm just going to go ahead and type these goals in if the box is open on the college hockey side. So I'll just mark down the goals in particular so I don't forget on that end. So it'll be Seamus Casey. And for Quinnipiac, it's a pair for Quinlan. And I will get the rest of the box score when it is available on that side. So the first goal, as we're getting a little bit of a reset now, again, I'm just going to type some of this stuff in. It was a good puck movement by the Bobcats, and this was played off of the backside of the jersey. I think Alec had to step out a little bit. So I will finish this off. Again, I'm going to give you the complete game story and play-by-play at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com per usual. So the first goal was off the backside of the jersey of Portillo. Seamus Casey was able to answer on the other end for Michigan. And again, I made that joke about, is it Seamus Casey or is it Luke Hughes? But it's actually the truth. On that side, Seamus Casey able to deep pass about 3 other players and then get the puck on net, and it was able to beat Yaniv Perets. And then Quinlan with a breakaway, and he finished it off. And then I just noted too some mistakes in the defensive zone for Michigan on that end. Oh for 1 on the power play for both squads on that end, but it's a 2-1 lead for the Bobcats. So let's take you across the NHL scoreboard. I will get my boxes and everything else all squared away here. Put this back in order so we have the rosters and everything else ready to go for the third period. But let's take you across the NHL if you guys don't mind. I appreciate you listening in on the Twitter Spaces side, Dai, on that side. We'll see if we have anyone on the YouTube side. I don't imagine. There's not a lot of the college athletics authority on that end, but I'm more than happy to bring this game to you. Again, I'm going to have the national championship about 8:15 Eastern on Saturday. Again, Minnesota waiting the winner here of Quinnipiac and Michigan. But let's take it across the league right now in the NHL. So it is a 1-1 tie in between the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. About 3:18 left. We'll give you the goal scorers on that end. It is Charlie Coyle in the third. It is Sam Lafferty in the second. Looks like Jeremy Swayman's in net. He's top 20 or 29. Same thing for Ilya Samsonov. Same numbers, same time, same channel. It is now a 6-5 lead for the Sabres over the Red Wings. Those are goals all over the place. I did give a little bit of a reset there, but we'll just give the latest part of it. So in the third, it was Dylan Cousins. I believe Cousins has 2 and 1. Jordan Greenway has a goal in the third, and Jonathan Berggren has one at 8:02 in the third period for the Red Wings. The Panthers are continuing their playoff push, and I will duplicate this in a lot of windows on the computer side. But just to make a mention of it, the Florida Panthers now hold the number 1 spot of the wild card. They are tied with the Islanders for 87 points. They're going to get to 89, however, because there's no way that the Senators will bounce back from a 7-1 drubbing with 18 minutes left to go in the third. So let's just go through the last names. In the first, it was Montour and Barkov, and then Barkov again. It was 3-0 for Florida with 1:24 in the second. Claude Giroux made it 3-1, but then again, all Panthers after that. Reinhart, Luosterainen, Nick Cousins, and Forsling in the second. 7-1 lead for Florida. It is Alex Lyon, 42 out of 43 on the other end. So Ottawa blitzing the Panthers netminder with shots for a staggering .977 save percentage. So you can't say they're doing the work. On the other end, Maryland, and I'm not aware of him on the other side, but I'm aware of Mads Sogard. He got pulled after 4 goals. Maryland gave up 3 on 9 of 12. So it's not been a good day in net for the Sens, but a great one for Lyon. The Canadians all over the Caps 4-1. It was Dylan Strome open the scoring, and then after that, all Canadians. Suzuki, Armia, Gallagher, and Armia again as it's 4-1. Sam Montembeault stopped 21 of 22, and Darcy Kemper got shelled a little bit so far. He stopped 24 of 28. Some more scores here for you. The Devils. Again, this is why I'm only doing last names. We could do a whole breakdown of this game. It is 8-1 Devils against the Blue Jackets. Jack Hughes, it was 1-0 after 1. It was just 1-0 after 1, but after that, the floodgates broke open. It was a Yona Loto goal that made it 3-1. Columbus got on the scoreboard, but after that, Tomas Tatar, Hughes, Timo Meyer, Eric Halla, Meyer again, Damon Severson, and Ryan Graves. 8-1 Devils. Vitek Vanacek, easy night, 15 out of 16. And they have been switching goalies. Michael Hutchinson gave up a 5 spot. John Gillies on the other end has stopped 2 of 5. He's given up 3 on that end. So not a good night for goaltending if you're in Ottawa or Columbus. Penguins look like they're going to get back into the wild card race. They have a 4-1 lead on the Wild with 6:26 in the third. It is 3 straight goals for Pittsburgh. Chris Letang, Ricard Raquel, and Jason Zucker. 3-0, the 2:58 marker in the third before Marcus Johansson on the power play, and then Jeff Carter, the latest at 13:08. It's Tristan Jarry stopping 25 of 26. And 25 out of 29 for Marc-Andre Fleury. It's been a rare game for him where he's actually got shelled a little bit. The Islanders all over the Lightning. They're doing everything they can to make sure they hold on that wild card. If that's the case, if Florida wins tonight, which ultimately that's assured, and the Islanders hold on this 4-1 lead against the Lightning, Penguins will have to win to be able to keep pace just behind them. Those two teams will still have the second and first and second wild cards respectively, Florida and the Islanders. So for the Islanders reset, it was Pelech, Nelson, Palmieri, a 3-0 lead. This is all in the second for the Islanders. It was Nikita Kucherov with his 30th of the year, and then Ryan Pollock made it 4-1. Elias Sorokin stopped 16 of 17. Brian Elliott, he's getting some time in net for the Big Cat. 24 out of 28 for Elliott. 2-0 for the Preds over the Hurricanes. They will not go away in the Western Conference chase. If Cooper Hopkins was with me, we covered the big game yesterday between the Flames and the Jets. When we talk about that side of it, Preds need to win to be able to keep pace, because now the Flames have the tiebreaker over the Jets. Not right now because the Jets have a game in hand, but when we end the 82-game regular season, if they have the same amount of points, that's enough to get in. The Flames would get in. But right now, the Preds up 2-0 on the Canes. It is Mark Jankowski and Michael McCarron with the goals in the first period. St. Louis Blues have a 1-0 lead on the Rangers, and after one, it is the Stars and the Flyers, Dallas with the lead. Games still to get underway. Blackhawks, Canucks, Kings, Golden Knights, Avalanche and Sharks, and the 10:30 late on the eastern side is the Coyotes and the Kraken. That one will be at Climate Pledge at 10:30 Eastern. I will be right back.
College sports fans, get ready for game day with the licensed merchandise from the NCAA official online shop, ncaa.com/shop. Get the whole family geared up with the best collection of apparel and accessories, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, headwear, championship gear, and more. Visit the NCAA shop for today's special offer and rep your favorite team now. Only at ncaa.com/shop. 10 games on the NHL docket tonight, fellas. Everywhere you look, there's a fuse up the ice making things happen.
Well, this family certainly is the best family of hockey right now. They got a lot of kids playing, and this guy's the first pick in the draft a few years back, and he's a sensational player, great hands. And the New Jersey Devils are loaded with talent right now, young talent. They got a bunch in this game. Seamus Casey had a nice goal.
Yeah, beautiful goal. Maybe not as beautiful as his tic-tac-toe play. We talked about Adam Fantilli and Connor Bedard. Columbus is trying to get to the bottom of the league as fast as possible to get one of those two players to change the organization.
Wow, 2 goals, 2 assists. Speaking of 2 goals, David Quillen's got 2 for Quinnipiac, and it's a 2-1 lead. Here he is with our prayer.
Jacob, you broke the tie. 2 goals pretty quickly. How were you able to do that?
On the first one, we got a big shot from the net, and I think Jacob got the shot. Saw the goal was out of position, so I just tried to bank it off and luckily it went in.
What about the second one?
Appreciate you still sticking with me on the Twitter Spaces side, Dottie, on that end. Hope that you're doing well, my friend, as this is I'm just looking at some replays here in between Jacob Quinlan as he's being interviewed on the ESPN side. And again, if Quinnipiac wins this game, they're going to be taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers for the national championship. It would be their first ever appearance in that point. And Quinnipiac has been very, very good throughout their program. Rand Pecknold's been there again for about 30 seasons. When Alec Nava was in here, he was able to bring that up on that side to give you some context. I brought you a little bit of context as far as what these teams are able to offer on that end. Again, when you talk about Yaniv Perets, he is a guy that is in the line for the Hobey Baker and Mike Richter. So not only MVP of college hockey, also be the top goaltender in the world. 2 awards. That's how good he's been. When you get 10 shutouts and a .932 save percentage, that is why you're going to be that good. Again, Quinnipiac, admittedly, it's more of a defensive style, but Quinlan's shown you that they've been able to take advantage of any type of miscues that Michigan throws on the board.
You're looking pleased with yourself.
Not Brad, but I just switched to Verizon.
So you got an awesome network.
Yeah, when I switched, I get to choose the phone I wanted for free, not bragging.
You're bragging.
Oh, he bragged.
So if there's any sort of adjustments to make, because I know I am by myself now on this side, I was hoping maybe Cooper Hopkins could join or listen in, or we did have Alec Nava for a little bit on that side, or maybe some people on the YouTube side, but there isn't anything today, so it's just us on this side. But again, I'll just say this. If there is any sort of adjustments to make, if I'm Quinnipiac, I don't think I'm making any sort of adjustments about what I'm doing on this. Since I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say that not only because of the lead, but because I've seen them block a lot of shots already. They've been dangerous. Every time they got the puck in the offensive end, they've driven it in behind the net, and they've forced Michigan defenders to have to move their skates. and force it in the dangerous areas to try to score. And that is what you have to do. They're not just trying to throw shots in the net in hopes that it goes in. They're carrying this puck in deep, and when they have to be pushed on their defensive end, they're blocking shots, and they're making sure when they're not blocking shots, they allow their goaltender, who is all those awards finalists, as we've said, to be able to see the shot and to stop it. I know it sounds simple, but that's the game plan right now, and Rand Pegnal wouldn't change a damn thing. On the other end, if you're Brandon Naurato, I think you go into that locker room if you're Michigan and you say, look, we've had a couple of key defensive breakdowns, and that led to a couple of goals in the back of our net. We hung out Portillo to dry more than a handful of times. His one save with that diving split, as we said, about maybe 8 minutes to go in the first, that could have easily been a 3-1 lead for Quinnipiac. And if you give them a couple more goals here, that could be it, realistically, for the way it is. When you're talking about all those pieces that Michigan lost, it's no excuse. They still have enough firepower to be able to get this done, but they will, if they keep shooting themselves in the foot with these defensive miscues, it's going to be Quinnipiac and Minnesota. That's just the way that I see it. So we are getting ready for the start of the second period, and this will be the first cough drop for me. So hopefully this will only be a 2 cough drop kind of day, right? On that side. Not too many voice cracks. I'm trying to make sure that I keep everything as professional as possible as I can do. But sometimes it is tough. Again, Michigan native for myself. I went to Oakland University in Rochester Hills, but in between the pro sports side of it, it's been rough for 10 years. So the fact that Michigan has an opportunity to do something tangible, that's something I got to hold on to here. Otherwise, you're just going to be waiting. It just feels like the light never is at the end of the tunnel. So here it is, the second period puck drop. Quinnipiac immediately off the pass, and this is just taken away. This just goes wide. They're really looking for Quinlan. He's been the lead right now. Dizzy Berger with the hole on Pearson. And this is picked up now against Rucker McGorty toward the right side of the boards. 19:35 left to go in the second. It is a lead for the Bobcats. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I look in the comments part of the section. And this is picked up now. Alex says, sorry I have to go, but I appreciate being with you in the first period. Same per usual, Alec, on that side. I appreciate the message. As this is picked up now, Fantilli with the wrist shot toward the right side. And now this is sent back down the ice. Eric Portillo goes ahead, picks this up now, and this will be an opportunity here for Michigan. Off the stretch pass and now off the backhand. Picked up now for Perets, so leave this just back in behind the office. Quinnipiac trying to get this out of their own end. Here's a good stick battle. Michigan able to brush this in deep off the backhand as they work Fantilli off the puck. It's Mackie Samoskevich trying to keep this alive. They'll send this in toward Portillo's cage, but this just ends up going now toward the right side of the wall. Quinnipiac sends this back in their own end, and this will be an opportunity here for Jake Johnson. The first line's out there right now for Rand Pecknold's squad on defense. Somebody gets undercut, gets taken to the right side wall. Is the play still live? And are we getting a tripping call against Quinnipiac? One of the Michigan defenders very slow to get up. And we will see what they call. That is TJ Hughes. There is snow job all over his jersey. And as we talked about, it is a holding call against Quinnipiac. Maybe a little bit of a trip. I think that would be the accurate side of it. And we will see. As I don't know if this is actually going to go against Quinnipiac or Hughes. This is going against Hughes. His hold is what made him fall down as he got tied up. So Brandon Arato's got to look on and chew on that gum a little more ever intently. I was wondering what that call was going to be, but that was the right one. So Quinnipiac going to go to the power play. This is their second of the game. And if they score another one here, this is danger territory for the Wolverines. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is not the same team that they had before, but they still have the firepower, but they've not played a clean game so far. Shots are about 9-9. I think it's actually 9-8. Quinnipiac has the lead on that side, but they have a 2-1 scoreline advantage. It's Seamus Casey for Michigan, 2 on the other end for Quillen. So Skylar Brind'Amour, the son of Rod Brind'Amour, that is the name on that side, and Mark Estapa tries to win the draw for the Wolverines. And this is a diving play. Keeps this in for the power play for the Bobcats. They'll pass it across. In between the middle of the slot. It's stopped by Portillo. And he makes the save, diving across the right side red line. Good work there by Sam Lipkin and Quillian as they teamed up on that play. And Portillo made a large save for a very large human being that he is in the net. And we'll do this again in the offensive end for the Bobcats. If Cooper Hopkins does join me here for this third period, it might give me a little bit of the motivation that I need, but I appreciate you here, Desi, on that side, knowing that I'm not alone for this broadcast because this is a tough one to do, trying to be as straight down the middle as I can as this is picked up here for Quillen. Now I'll pass across in the point, Desi Bogart, as they'll continue to move this around. Bogart now for Quinlan, off the touch pass, fake it. Pick it up now, Lipkin will fire short side, and that's saved with the right pad hand of Portillo. But this is still with the Bobcats. This power play has been silky so far, and they're just committing to the movement. In the middle of the circles, stick lifted, and the shot opportunity goes wide on the second effort, but this stays in. Picked up now by the Bobcats. And here's a pass. This gets blocked off Michigan. This is dangerous, and now sent back off the backhand as it's slapped around in deep, and now sent back down the ice. 1 minute left to go in the Quinnipiac power play. It was dangerous a couple times, but Michigan got it down off the slap shot clear from 200 feet. We'll do this again for the Bobcats. 50 seconds left to go. Ethan DeYoung tries to get the entry, but it's sent back down by the Maize and Blues. Touches the stick of Yaniv Perets, and now the power play, the second one of that for the Bobcats, down to 40 seconds. Picked up off the forehand now. Quinnipiac try to gain entry through the neutral zone. Beautiful move in between the legs, and Michigan able to just stick this aside and through the neutral zone as this is sent back down deep. Now the power play down to 25 as we got 16:55 left to go in this middle frame. It's a 2-1 lead for the Bobcats over the Wolverines. We're at Amalie Arena right now, the site of the Frozen Four in Tampa Bay, home of the Lightning. And this is off the backhand now in the high slot. Quinnipiac looking for the pass across now near the right dot. Here's an opportunity for Friedman. Fourth line time on the second line power play. And this one goes up and on a play. 5 seconds left to go on the Bobcats power play. So they're showing Christophe Tellier and some of his goals. That is hand-eye coordination out of the air, able to get this one just across the netminder in their recent game that they had before they went into this regional semi. So Adam Fantilli on the defensive zone draw here for the Wolverines. He should be the consensus second or third round pick in behind Connor Bedard, or so they say, as Fantilli will pick this up now. Near the right side wall, Quinnipiac's power play comes to an end, but they have the puck as they get around the zebra now. This is picked up in the high slot off the backhand and sent back down across the red line. Wolverines will try to find this into the neutral zone. We need to be able to get something going here in the second period. It's been all Quinnipiac in the offensive end. Rucker McGorty will make the pass, and behind the office of Yaniv Perets, but gets stick lifted. Desi Bogart comes to the rescue. And now an opportunity now for left to right for Quinnipiac. Now near the left side wall. It's 2-0 in the second frame for the Bobcats. T.J. Edwards will take a look, but it's Rucker McGorty. Might look to take this himself from the offensive end. Gets to the right side wall. Good set up there for Fantilli off the left side of the crossbar. And this is picked up now and sent back around the net. Big body contact as one of the Wolverines goes down, but we're still live. Here's a long slap pass the other end. It doesn't touch anybody, and the Wolverines will get an offensive zone draw. Fantilli was working his way through the zone with a windmill deke as he got around a pair of defenders, and then he just sent this from the left dot to the right crossbar on his left-handed shot. It was lifted perfectly, but just too high, a fraction. 15:35 left to go in the second. 8-4 is the scoring chances in favor of Quinnipiac. It is the University right out of Connecticut. If you want Griffin Cass's call for the Quinnipiac side, you can follow him at Griffin Cass, Kass. As this is picked up now, it's more of a Michigan side for me, as this is blocked out in front and picked up by Pearson. Now this will be Dylan Duke. His stretch pass gets blocked into the neutral zone and cleared in now by the Bobcats. This will touch the stick of Eric Portillo. Here's Pearson. And one more time, Seamus will try to gain the entry here. And now into the neutral zone. Here comes Michigan. Mackie Samoskevich will fire it wide as Michigan has it now near the left side of the red line. Sent back down. Here's an opportunity for a 3-on-2. Here's a chance for Friedman out there. Cross pass. Give it go. What a play. But it was stopped by Portillo. And now try to get picked up by Samoskevich into the defensive end. It's a race with the puck. Michigan will get to it, but there's 5 Bobcats to 1 Wolverine. This will fall back to Perets somehow, and he will hold on as Metsa and a couple of the other players get tied up. Still a 2-1 lead for the Bobcats as we keep this train rolling. This has been a fun game so far. Lots of skill on both sides, and I get the TV replay on ESPN2. You can follow on the TV side for that. Fantilli hits the top left of the crossbar. He thought he scored, but we go to break. Boy, oh boy. Again, a second period that looks, I wouldn't say similar to the first, but in a point I can say that Quinnipiac has been the better team on both sides, and this has shown through within the first hour of this broadcast, about an hour and 5 on the YouTube side. If you want clear audio, it is the Twitter Spaces side. If you want to follow along and see the ugly face cam, you can do so at John Reinach on the YouTube end.
Hard-pounding design, intelligent technology, courageous performance, discovering the world of possibilities in the Lexus RX. Never lose your edge.
So if I'm looking admittedly at these rosters, and I see Skylar Brind'Amour, Desi Bogart. Desi Bogart's been there before. Ethan DeYoung was there last year. So was Lipkin and Quillian. So you have 2/3 of your second line, 2/3 of your first line still there for Quinnipiac. And you still have your all-world goaltender in Yaniv Perets. Jaden Lee was there with Zach Metsa as well. So a lot of your defensive pieces are still there for Michigan. It is a freshman-laden squad. So a lot of those other pieces that we talked about are just not there anymore. But Michigan's freshmen have been fabulous on that, and they've been scoring a lot of points. But I do feel like they are struggling on the defensive end in the structure and the system of what the Bobcats can bring. We will see if that changes with 14:31. So a offensive zone draw win, and again on the ESPN side with John Butchergrass, they're talking about the Wolverines can't really get going. Now it's Luke Hughes in between his legs. He'll drag it, keep it alive, and now his shot gets blocked. He's going to have to go back and pick this up in the neutral zone. It's a 2-1 lead for the Bobcats, courtesy of Jacob Quillian, pair of goals, and Seamus Casey, the defenseman for Michigan. And his was a fantastic individual effort. Quillian's goal was off the backside of Portillo, off the back of the jersey, and then just a breakout pass that he finished easily on that end. And they've just played better in this game. And Yaniv Perets, he's made a couple saves, but Portillo's made probably even more on that end. Off the back pass, and this is brushed aside by the left pad of Yaniv Perets as this stays in. Picked up now D-to-D. Michigan looking to go to work. Here's the toe drag toward the right side, trying to center it out in front of Brindley, and that was met the whole way. Perets didn't have to move. He had good position. Brindley fired it 5-hole, and Perets said no. Made the save with 13:37. John out here with you on the play-by-play side. It's the site of the Frozen Four. We are in Amalie Arena, Tampa Bay, home of the Lightning. And the Minnesota Golden Gophers, they knocked out the Boston University Terriers. They are waiting Saturday for their shot in the national championship. They just need an opponent. Is it going to be Michigan Wolverines or the Quinnipiac Bobcats? Right now, if it ended, it would be Quinnipiac. They're up 2-1. As this is picked up, it's still 13:30 left to go in the second. Still tons of time, but how many times can we repeat that message is the question, as this is picked up now. And behind the office, Eric Portillo, TJ Edwards tries to get this out. And now the Wolverines play this across the right side wall. That's a bad pass that gets intercepted there by Desi Bogart. And now try to get this out of the defensive end. And here's Quinlan. Back in behind the office again. Portillo will take a look as he's standing, holding out the right side post. This will touch the stick of Perets. He'll hold. So that's a break for Michigan there. They couldn't get in the offensive end, and now they're just elect to hold as Rand Pecknold looks on. So the 2023 U.S. National Junior Team, Wolverines coached by Rand Pecknold, Casey, Hughes, Brindley, Dylan Duke, and Richter McGorty. And you can say all that because they were all on the Team USA World Juniors on that side. And that's the junior team. We just did that broadcast with Cooper Hopkins a few months ago on the NHL Network side. So the development program is always in good hands. And when you think about Coronado on the other end, the Michigan Wolverine head coach that got a 5-year extension, he was with the junior program for Team USA for development and with the Red Wings before he signed for a 5-year coaching extension. He's the interim, now the full-time coach, taking over for Mel Pearson from the violations that got him canned. And this is picked up now. Back to the Wolverines in the defensive end as they'll make this play off the back pass, and this gets picked off. Now into the neutral zone. Estapa turns it over, and now the backhand will be picked up, and this is an opportunity for the Maize and Blue to get to it, at least into the neutral zone, and Bobcats will send this in. And this will be an opportunity now for Edwards to pick it up. As this is sent down deep, will gain the offensive end for Michigan Wolverines. Now a battle for the puck and behind the office of Perets as he holds onto that right post. 12:15 left to go in this middle frame right now. Still a 2-1 lead for Quinnipiac. All the goals have been in the first period. More of a defensive effort right now. You kind of wonder, even though there's tons of time, if Rand Pecknold likes this, because this defensive team, again, they only average about 1.5 goals against. They have the lead. They don't want to make any mistakes, and a pass just missed. That would have been a 2-1-0. Quinnipiac, this one goes off the one-timer. Here's another opportunity. Portillo is down. Was he down early as his goal stick was taken away from him? And now on the other end, here's Bogart. He'll fire. And where is the goal stick? Now Portillo gets to pick it up. It goes D to D, now to the right side dot. Is Michigan desperate to get this out, and then we'll get out from an errant pass. Not even from Michigan's doing this. Desi Bogart fired it wide, and then the rebound carried back and went out of the zone. There's Luke Hughes. Into the windmill. Now it's 1-on-4. Michigan really needs some reinforcements when they get in the zone. It can't just be individual entries, as there's some body contact near the right side boards. That is the undoing right now. The team is not crossing the ice together. And now they lose this in between the skate blades. Here's a wide open pass that gets missed again. Michigan is dodging bullets all over the place right now. They are playing sloppy as this is picked up off the backhand. It's a 6-6 tie between the Sabres and the Red Wings. That one is an OT, but again, only Michigan team that I'm focusing on right now are the Wolverines that we're commenting on the ice for. Edwards toward the right side wall as one of the Wolverines gets swallowed up in the madness near the right side wall. This gets blocked by the Wolverines, and they'll pick up in their own end near the right side circle. TJ Edwards will play a pull pass. This will fall to Perets, and he didn't play it quick enough. It gets blown dead, and again, that's probably fortunate for Michigan. I know it's the second time I've said that, but anytime they've been able to get in the zone is off of a hold by Perets because it's been all Quinnipiac. And that second opportunity there, that was Desi Bogart in on the doorstep. And Eric Portillo makes one save. He makes a second save down and out with the right pad. That is the only reason Michigan is within a 2-1 right now is Eric Portillo. So offensive zone draw win by Fantilli. Casey tries to fire. This goes off the backboards as Fantilli will try to find it. Now near the left side dot. This gets sent back down the ice. Scoring chances are 10-5 Bobcats over the Wolverines right now. This has been a one-sided contest, even though the score line doesn't say it. As this is cleared in by Fantilli. Will the Bobcats get their measure of revenge? We'll find out. It's 30 minutes left in regulation as we hit the halfway marker of the second. This is picked up now near the left side dot. Coming together is Brindley as he can't win the puck battle. But Brindley now finds it in between his skate blades as Quinnipiac muff this puck in behind their net. Luke Hughes into the traffic, still keeps it alive. Here's the cross pass. And is it in? Yes, it is. Michigan scores. Luke Hughes creates the play, ties it at 2. Adam Fantilli from Luke Hughes. I'm sorry I had to pause a beat. I wanted to make sure that this went in. It was Luke Hughes able to get around a defender, drop it to Fantilli, and it goes in so deep, it goes into the Camberwell side, where we all lost sight of it, but nonetheless, this is a 2-2 tie, and Michigan is back into this game. They just needed one offensive opportunity, essentially. That was the first that they got in this second period. And now it's 9:40 left to go. Fantilli with his 30th, his third in the tournament. The Wolverines are now edged this at 2. As this is sent in deep, and Perets will take no chances. He makes the save with 9:32 in the second. So leave it to Luke Hughes, and that's per usual. Make the dance move in on one of the defensemen to set up Fantilli near the right dot. He does so. Fantilli gets his 30th. A beautiful looking shot. Perets nowhere near the puck, and the Wolverines get a 2-2 tie. Come right back. Almost choked a little bit on that cough drop. It kind of broke apart and almost got pieces of it. So I'm going to take a break there for a minute and regain my sanity.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Go to InventHelp.com to get started today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step.
When we get to the third period, I will plug in my phone to make sure the battery life will stay across for the stream. Again, I appreciate you listening in on that. And again, if this is a first-time broadcast for you to listen in, or if you're a fan of college hockey or a fan of these two teams, welcome. Again, I normally do NHL, NBA, MLB, and college affiliate coverage. So admittedly, on the college side, as long as I have the rosters in front of me, we can do some name call-outs. We've been able to do some of those at that side. Again, College Hockey Inc. is a great way to get all of your resources, and thankfully I just pulled the previous box score from the last game. Lines really haven't been adjusted, so I got those in front of me, and when we do get to the box and everything else in particular, I will get those in, and we will have the game story at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. That's where all that stuff is always going to be. And on the YouTube side, it'll be on the recorder side. So on the Twitter Spaces, when there's commercials, all you get is the rest of it. So Michigan has just scored. It was Adam Fantilli from a Luke Hughes play. It is 15-14 on the draw. Now make it 15-15. We get a split evenly between these two teams, and it's also even in the scoreboard side. It's now 2-2. This has been a fantastic game so far, with 9:20 left to go in this middle frame. Who is going to take it? This does not look like Michigan has the same type of offensive firepower, and it's clear that they don't in comparison to the players that have been lost. But this is a fully freshman line pretty much that can do a ton of damage. It's Hughes now in between the legs as he rocks that puck. He makes this pass across. This will go here for Hughes with a one-timer. This goes off the backboard and now toward the right side of the wall as Michigan tries to hold this into the offensive end. Here is a couple of puck battles. This will be won by the Bobcats, and they'll settle it down now left to right. Here's a stick lift. Now Friedman, this will go off of the blocker of Eric Portillo. We'll see if it goes the other way for the Maize and Blue. It's a 2-on-2. Good cancel near the right side wall momentarily. Might allow the Bobcats time to recover in their own end. This is gloved down with the hand. It's a soft backhand play toward the net. Michigan trying to pick it up. Perets is down and out, but the puck is toward the right side wall. It bounces in front of the crease, and the shot goes wide off the rebound. We're still live now and behind the net, and the Bobcats pick this up out of their own end. They dodged the first big bullet of the game, as Michigan was looking to take a 3-2 lead. And now this will fall back to Seamus Casey as the Bobcats fall over themselves. They almost trip over 6'6" Eric Portillo. Now here's an opportunity for Edwards. Here's Casey off the drop pass, Mackie Samoskevich. And this is a little too much razzle-dazzle. Here's a break for the Bobcats. Can they beat Portillo? He says no. And we're still tied at 2. One of the Wolverines tried to play it in between their legs. I think it was Casey, and he was feeling himself a little bit too much. Portillo bails him out. Friedman sends it in deep. And now here it is the other way. Mackie Samoskevich tried to get it out of his own end. This game's really opened up now. Here's a shot that gets blocked toward the left side wall. Maize and Blue try to play this out of the air, but here comes Quinnipiac. Bobcats off the chip and chase. One of them gets taken down, and this is picked up now as this is just shoveled aside toward the right side wall. Samoskevich got his pocket picked. Can he fight through it? Yes, he can, as Michigan gets this into the neutral zone. They'll fire it in from about 40 feet. This goes off the stick shaft of Perets, and now Zach Mensah near the right side wall, as this will be played by Portillo. What's he going to do with it? He'll throw it to his left side D. Here quickly closing was the Bobcats trying to get a turnover, but now off the back skate. Here comes Adam Fantilli, gains the offensive end. Here's a nice saucer pass out of the air, and Perets will make the save as Richter McGorty has some pushing and shoving with one of the Bobcats now. 6:34 to go in the second. That was a great save by Portillo on the other end. What I'm looking at on ESPN2, I know you're getting the radio feed from me, is some of the chances that were against Perets. He was down and out for at least 15 seconds, but that puck was being battled for in the middle of the circles. The Wolverines couldn't locate it. And on the very next effort, it was, let me take a look at it, Collin Graf with the breakaway that was denied by Portillo. Now their scoring chances read 11-7 as Quinnipiac takes the lead on the draws at 17-16. It's a 2-2 tie. We're at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. This is the regional semi where the Minnesota Golden Gophers, they just knocked off the Boston University Terriers in the opener. They're awaiting an opponent. Played off the backhand, and this is sent back around the end boards. Gavin Brind'Amour will settle it down. Luke Hughes plays it off the right side wall. He's pinched in deep now near the dot. Richter McGorty's pass. This is pinball, picked up now by Edwards, and now sent back in. Be an opportunity for the Bobcats to try to get this out. They try to waft it. This will get picked up by the Wolverines. McGorty gets denied by Perets in the middle of the slot. Good save by Yaniv there. And now here's Graf as he looks to push the other way. This is lost in between the legs and a good stick lift by the Wolverines. Here's an outlet pass. Richter McGorty just got denied by Perets near the left side wall, and this is dumped in across by Fantilli. And this hits the glass, goes up and onto the plane of the netting, and we get a stoppage at 5:37. So taking a look right now on the star wash of Adam Fantilli, and when you get a one-timer, I wonder if that actually bounced off of my second look at this replay now, admittedly, as I got a good angle. If that bounced off of one of the defenders and went in between the five-hole side of Perets. Either way, it was screened. You couldn't see it. Fantilli with his third of the tournament. 5:37 left to go in the second. John here with you on the call. I appreciate anyone following along and listening in. Again, this is feeling pretty similar in between that tight game up until late of last year between Michigan and Quinnipiac and the Frozen Four. We're doing this again. Here's an entry now. Off the backhand as this gets brushed aside by a couple of skates, and this will be sent in deep. Pearson tries to get to it, but this will be a 3-on-2 opportunity here for Quinnipiac. Now enter the neutral zone in the middle of the circles, and a good shot block on the other end. Seamus Casey, that time he made the play that he was supposed to make, as this is picked up now into the neutral zone. Quinnipiac has the puck. 5 minutes left to go in this middle frame. It's a 2-2 tie, and the winner is going to get the Minnesota Golden Gophers on Saturday. This has been a fantastic game. Here's a rush. It's a 2-on-1 and a good diving shot block the other way for Quinnipiac. So defense has answered. It's just the one lone goal from Fantilli in the second. Luke Hughes turns it over in the middle of the circles, and now they're going to have to go ahead and play defense, the Wolverines. Pearson, he's punched across the wall, and this is picked up now. Luke Hughes, he dodges a mini disaster there as this is dumped in deep, but it is ice. So Quinnipiac going to get an offensive draw with 4:27 in the middle frame. So that was just a fluff pass. Don't know if he lost it off the stick or whatsoever, but Luke Hughes, that was a little too casual, especially in a main stage like this. But again, we talk about Casey and Hughes and some of these other defenders that can make a play. Sometimes you got to live with both results. You just hope it doesn't turn into a negative one on the other end against Portillo. So this is a defensive one, a draw. And this will be an opportunity here for Pearson, and this one goes wide. This was a slap shot there for Burgard as he let it fly. This bounced off the right glass. Sent back down here. Quinnipiac has an opportunity off the stretch. They'll get this across the right side wall. Now they'll flip it in. Portillo makes the play. We'll see if Quinnipiac can buzz to this puck as Michigan Having a struggle now near the right side boards, trying to find it. His bodies are coming together. Friedman trying to locate. Hughes is shadowing one of the forwards on the top. This is picked up near the left side dot. This gets blocked. Second opportunity gets blocked. It's loose right toward the left side of the crease. But Michigan has it now. They can take a little bit of a breath with 3:45. Try to gain the entry offensively off the backhand as this gets sent back down. It'll be a race for the puck. Portillo will go near the left side of the circle to play it. And this will allow Michigan maybe to fire something right on. Instead, they'll hold on. Mackie Samoskevich will throw this back to D. Crisscross there, Seamus Casey into the traffic. And this one will bounce back. This will get picked up now by the Bobcats. TJ Edwards will keep this alive off his backhand, trying to get around the bowling pins that Quinnipiac is providing. Edwards still with it. He'll get the entry all by himself. It'll be an opportunity for Luke Hughes, no relation to TJ, as he's played this one back. Seamus Casey got a race for it. Can he keep it in the offensive zone? Yes, he can. Michigan now trying to pinball this near the right side wall, but this one will go back now into the neutral zone. Quinnipiac shadowing in the midst of a change, and Mackie Samoskevich will send this toward Luke Hughes, but now Yaniv Perets will make a soft pass to his defense, and this is gloved out of the air by Michigan into the neutral zone and slap shot it back down the ice. Quinnipiac will do much of the same as they'll throw this back down, but this will be an ice, however, and Michigan will get an offensive zone draw. Quinnipiac can't change their lines. 2:42 left to go in the second. It's a 2-2 tie. Again, the lone goal of the second was an Adam Fantilli one-timer near the right dot as it was set up by Hughes. And that's it, and that's all for the second period. I hope you're enjoying this broadcast so far. Admittedly, I felt like I had my heart in my throat to start the contest. I felt like I've settled down a little bit, but I will tell you this, if Michigan does end up losing this game, I'll be a little bit disappointed, but I'll be very glad to cover this final. It's been a lot of fun. Here's a slap shot. This goes up the right side wall off a Michigan face-off win, and a penalty called, and this one for sure will be on Quinnipiac. So Michigan will get to their second power play. Quinnipiac is already 0 for 2. So one that was against Edwards before because of a hold, this one will be a hold against Quinnipiac. And Michigan's dangerous power play, even though they had just 2 shots on their first, they will go back to work. So near the right side wall off the carom, Rucker McGorty, did he sell it? Question mark. Did he sell that one? Tripping call against McGorty is the official call. We'll go to break. We'll see what Michigan can do at the end of the second period on the power play.
Easter brunch made easy. That's totally turkey.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered today. Around the block, what you need in stock with service so good it's guaranteed.
So you don't need to be a rocket scientist to say this, and I know this isn't the most expert opinion that I'm going to give in this following statement, but I'm going to make it anyway. I think this is a goal that Michigan has to have. Not only do you feel good going into the locker room being up potentially 3-2 on a power play goal, you might have an opportunity to even settle down a little bit more in the defensive end. We know Quinnipiac is going to force the press. That might allow them to make a mistake that Michigan can capitalize on. It's been a better defensive second period for Michigan, but their first period left a lot to be desired. So we will see. They are showing Portillo and Perets as they will be skating back to their crease. 2:35 left to go in this second period. John Hunter with you from Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. It is the site this year of the Frozen Four. That's what we are watching right now. This is the nightcap in between Michigan and Quinnipiac. Minnesota needs a team to play on Saturday. Who's it going to be? Shots on goal are now even. 18 aside. Michigan on their second power play of the game. Fantilli, the consensus top 2 or top 3 pick, is going to take the draw. He loses it, and Quinnipiac will send this one down the ice. As far as the power play and the clock difference, it's about 30 seconds. So once it does end, if it ends all the way through the 2, about 30 seconds left to go in this middle frame. And we might see if this goal will still be 2-2 or 3-2 at the end of 2 because Michigan has a power play here. They're second. They look good on their first. Here's an entry off of a give and go. And is this held by Luke Hughes? Yes, it is toward the last second. And now this will get brushed, picked up, not out of the zone though. And now Mackie Samoskevich tried to play this off the glass. He couldn't find it in between his legs. And this will get played back to Eric Portillo, now near the right side of the red line. It is Hughes. In between the cross, he will get around one defender. He goes to the half pivot as this is picked up now for Rucker McGorty. McGorty patient as it's in the high slot for Michigan. Their power play down to a minute. They do not have a shot yet on their second attempt as it's Hughes in the high slot. They'll get this across. Mackie Samoskevich in through the legs of Perets. Stopped again on his second opportunity. Rucker McGorty gets denied. He's got it near the right side of the wall. McGorty loses it, and this gets cleared by Quinnipiac. Picked up now by Portillo, as they will calmly play this with Michigan. This still stays with Portillo. Michigan yet to get in their breakout here, but now they'll try to design it right to left. Try to gain the entry near the left side wall. This is good defense and a closeout by Quinnipiac, and this is played near the right side of the wall, where it's played out of the netting on a play. 23 seconds left to go for the Wolverines on the man advantage, as we're down to 58 seconds. Yanni Perets just made a great save. This one went through the blue paint, and it was Rucker McGorty off the pinball. And if Rucker could have elevated that, but he wasn't tight, but if he could have elevated that, probably scored against Perets. But Perets nonetheless made 2 saves in a row. You couldn't see the second one. That was off instinct with the left pad. So it's a 2-2 tie still. Yanni Perets, he's the real deal. Eric Portillo, he's been the real deal. We've known that for a long time in the sight of the maize and blue, and this gets sent back down. Again, Yanni Perets only admittedly the second time I've seen him because we covered the last year Frozen Four between Quinnipiac and Michigan in a 7-4 final. This is a 2-2 one right now. In the second period with 38 seconds, Michigan trying to gain the entry, and Perets, I will say this, and I like it to be honest with you, anytime the puck gets played to him, he won't elect to play it. He'll hold, and he'll trust his team to win a draw and get breakouts. He doesn't want to make anything happen, and I like that. You have to have confidence in your team. So Michigan officially 1 second left to go on their power play. They're going to go for 2. That one was a little more enigmatic as far as not getting chances, but we'll see what happens with the final 37 seconds left to go in the second period. When we do get to the intermission, I'll take you across the league again with the stuff that's in progress. Probably give you some baseball scores as well before we get in the third. If Cooper Hopkins does join me at all, we will get him in here. Even if it's just to listen along or say go blue and give me some support. As this is picked up now, Michigan 3 shots on their power play as it officially ends, and it's sent back down the ice. Unfortunate thing for Quinnipiac is it ended as they've iced it, so this will be another opportunity for Michigan in an offensive zone draw. A little more unintentional on that end, but still this will give Michigan an opportunity to get something going here. They were able to get something not too long ago where Adam Fantilli was able to get a one-timer dot from a pass across near the right circle with a left-handed shot for his 30th. But that was it, and that's all for the second. Just Fantilli's goal. It's still 2-2. Quillen had a pair of goals in the first, and Seamus Casey had one for Michigan. As Luke Hughes has it now, he's been able to routinely get around some of these Bobcats defensemen who just admittedly want to stay in front as much as possible. So Hughes, he lost it near the left side wall. Can he settle it down with the stick blade as this goes in between his legs, and this will fall back to the maize and blue, but the job's not done. They're going to have to be careful around in their own end as this is a pull pass. This is picked up across the Frozen Four logo to no one, and that ends the second period. We are all square at 2. When we come back, let's call the third period action. This should be a lot of fun. Win, lose, or draw on both sides. Somebody's going to be playing Minnesota, and it should be a breath of fresh air because I'm telling you right now, in between Michigan, Quinnipiac, Minnesota, and Boston University earlier, the Terriers, we've seen some great college hockey today. And if it's your first time tuning into college hockey, you realize these guys are really damn good, and you know why they make it in the pros. This is excellent hockey. Come right back.
To show you
and smile. But, the opportunities are plenty in front of them, which is kind of surprising in a game of this magnitude.
It is. There's been too many big saves, I'm sure, for both coaching staffs from their goaltenders. And Portillo was huge at the start of the second period, making a few really big saves while that scores 2-1 on this play. Initially, I thought he just got off the post, but to be able to get it and shoot it from that angle underneath, just barely underneath the bar, was electric. But we saw what he can do this shot just a little bit later. Here it is.
This release is just incredible. No chance for Perets. Luke Hughes does a great job of evading the player from Quinnipiac there and wide open on the hash. Is Fantilli. He lets it fly. Majority in front. That's what you want to do on the power play and man advantage. And you knew when they got a chance on the one man up, they were going to get a good look, and that was an absolute rocket. Michigan, to me, was much more on their toes in that period. Still, too many chances going the other way, though. And when you look at it, it becomes a difficult thing for Michigan. Perets, huge save on the glory there.
Oh, huge save on the glory. That's the biggest one of the entire period. And the degree of difficulty goes up because this initial shot goes off the pad, the right pad of Yaniv. You'll see that right there. So that makes it more of a rebound play, tougher to react off of it. Great, huge right pad save right in that first period. I agree with you that Michigan did a better job in that second period. The second half, they seem to get their legs and use their skill to go retrieve pucks. Use their skill in a half-court type game. Instead of trying to go all the way 200 feet or 180 feet, they've got to get the puck in deep and use their skill there.
I think Quinnipiac's played a masterful game so far, though. Big, strong, physical team that does things well. They move the puck out of their end to the offensive zone quickly when they get a chance. Retrieve pucks extremely well. Rand Beckles' team has to continue to do what they're doing. However, I do not think they can go into a cocoon. They've got to find ways to get offense of pressure because Michigan's going to come hard against their team.
All right, so we saw the ended flow for the watch party. The one they thought was in that wasn't in, and then the Fantilli shot. How do you think they're going to react, fellas, in 20 minutes from now? Michigan's back in the championship game. Got some work to do. If so, it could be a rematch with Minnesota. They advanced easily. Look at that talent. We'll show you the rest of them on the way.
Okay, so admittedly I have the charge and everything else ready to go when we do need it on that side. Let's take you across the NHL scoreboard. We'll give you some in-progress updates of what was finished. So the Sabres do indeed. They get the 4-game sweep on the Red Wings. They needed that, honestly, to be able to stay into the playoff race. Do I have the NHL wildcard stuff in front of me? We'll see if I can refresh this if it's updated. So Buffalo Sabres, they have 83 points. I think it's going to be 85. It is yet to update. Pittsburgh just on the outside looking in. And Florida and the Islanders, they have 89. I believe that is updated. The Buffalo one is not because that just ended. So the Red Wings are officially eliminated. Buffalo does have a couple games in hand. They will have to win all of those if they want to try to get in as much as they can. That's all you can really say at that point. So I'll give you the finals. The Bruins, they win 2-1. And if they win their last 3 games, I think they're going to set the all-time marker in history for most points in a season. I believe that's what I heard as far as the season standing points. They won 2-1. It's a 7-2 win for the Panthers over the Sens, 6-2 for the Canadiens over the Caps, 8-1 for the Devils over the Blue Jackets, 4-1 win for Pittsburgh over the Wild, a 6-1 win for the Lightning, 6-1 win for the Islanders over the Lightning, I should say. So in between the Panthers, Islanders, and Penguins all winning, they all keep their spots. Penguins just on the outside looking in. For the Wild, again, they are already in the postseason, but here's the thing. I talked about this yesterday when we did the broadcast with the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames with Cooper Hopkins, my resident expert for Calgary on that end. It was a 98-point standing draw between the Avalanche, the Stars, and the Wild. They've all clinched, but here's the issue. If you're Colorado, let's just say this, right? If you get a second seed, let's say you don't get the first, you get the second. Well, the third seed in that division is going to have to play Colorado in that first match in that Central. You don't want that. I don't think there's any team that wants to play Colorado in the first round because I think that's going to be a waste of days. I really do. I think Colorado is going to win the first round series easily on that end. At most 6 games, probably at least 4 or 5. So those are important games for Minnesota, and they don't want to lose those. And I think that's going to make it even more so important in the sense of if the Jets need, the Wild to lose, or if the Jets need the Flames to lose to the Wild or teams like that. Those are games at the end of the year that are going to matter because that division standing in the Central will matter. And that's how I have to leave it. So there is not going to be a gimme game down the road in the Western Conference, not in the Central at least. So what is underway is the Preds and the Hurricanes. Preds have a 2-goal lead on the Hurricanes still, and that would put them, I'll flip this back over here, if the Predators get this win, they'll get 88 points. They'll have a game in hand of Calgary. They'll be just a point behind. If they can't get a comeback win, it's Carolina. The Preds take it. 2-1 lead for the Blues over the Rangers. I don't think that matters too much for New York. When we're talking about home ice advantage, it's all Stars over the Flyers after the second, as you would imagine. 4-1. They're not taking any sort of chances. They want to be able to get that Central title. Let's take a look at that scoring reset because we didn't in the last time. So Kevin Hayes did score in the second period of 13-16 for Philadelphia from Owen Tippett and Rasmus Ristolainen to make it 4-1, but before that it was all Stars. Jason Robertson is 44th on the power play again. Tell me a 22, 23-year-old that looks any better than Jason Robertson does. He's got one of the first 100-point seasons for Dallas since the Minnesota North Stars. Jason Pavelski, Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski, my goodness, 104 in the second on the power play. His 26 from Brind'Amour Heiskanen, Colin Miller from Wyatt Johnson, Evgeny Dodonov, and then Robertson again from Pavelski at 10:55 as Dallas has a 4-1 lead after 2 periods of play. It is all Golden Knights over the Kings, and again, do you think that matters for both of these teams because they are trying to fight off the Edmonton Oilers, who have been on a surge? The Edmonton Oilers at 103, Golden Knights still pace with 104. They're trying to keep their Pacific standings to be tied for first, or at least have the lead by 3 points when it's done tonight. If they can beat the Kings, they're up 2-0. Take a look at those goals for VGK. It is Phil Kessel, the hot dog man from Ivan Barbashev, and then Barbashev from Chandler Stevenson. So Ivan Barbashev has a pair of goals, a goal and assist. Laurent Brossoit has only made 2 saves so far, 2 out of 2, and 2 out of 3 for Jonas Korpisalo. Again, it only says 1 save, but that's wrong. That's 1 out of 3 if you do the math correctly. ESPN box score. So we'll give you some MLB scores. We'll flip the script now. Most of these should have gone final. Couple teams in the middle of their home opener. We'll give you the ones that are final. Well, actually, a lot of these games have been postponed today. Let me just clarify. Astros, Twins, Yankees, Orioles, Reds, Phillies, and Marlins, Mets. All postponed. The interesting part I heard out of Philadelphia was the weather was supposed to be nice today, but they canceled it anyway early, and it ended up not being any issues with the weather. They just didn't play the game. But maybe that's okay for the Phillies because they're 1-5. They've been into the World Series last year, and they've been off to a slow start since they lost to the Astros on that end. They've had some injuries. They're hoping Bryce Harper can come back. So the finals that we do have, there's not a lot of them, but it is the Red Sox and the Tigers. It was a Tigers home opener. Again, that is my team on that side as far as Detroit, but I always pick them to go 60-102 this year. I'm not very high on the Tigers. I was surprised when they got the first 2 out of 3 against the Astros after going 0-3 against the Rays. They lose 6-3. Chris Sale able to get the win. He's had a rough start of the year. It is the Giants, 16 runs, 20 hit attack They just overload the White Sox 16-6 at guaranteed rate. It is the Blue Jays with a 6-3 win over the Royals. The Royals are now 1-6. They're going to battle the Tigers, I believe, all season long for the worst in the AL Central. And it was a 1-0 win in the home opener at Coors Field. The Rockies take it over the Nationals. 1 runs on 9 hits. The Nationals had 6 hits. They couldn't score. You're in progress. Late game between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. That is scoreless top of the second. And top of the ninth, it is a 6-6 tie between the Pods and the Braves.
Jack Hughes, the sniper from the Devils.
See if we have any NBA scores to look across the board here. It's a light NBA night. 129-101. The Heat get the win over Philadelphia. A 118-94 win for the Cavs over the Magic. You would expect that as the Cavs improved to 51-30. It is in progress. Suns and Nuggets, 18-16. Suns with the lead. It is Thunder and Jazz, 55-54. OKC just up by 1 with 10-16 in the third. And with 5 seconds left to go, it seems like the Spurs, unless this is a Trailblazers basketball, but it seems like the Spurs will hold on to a 127-124 victory. If we look into the NBA standings, things are getting very, very tight on that end. A lot of teams have been eliminated already as it is. And the play-in side of it is Miami, Hawks, Raptors, and Bulls. As far as 7-10, the top 6 can stay away from it right now. The Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs, Knicks, and Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, their lead is only safe by a full game, so they could still be in the play-in side. For the West, I think it's still very much up in the air because you have teams separated by a half game. Dallas Mavericks is still outside of the play-in at 38-42. OKC's got the tiebreaker against Dallas. That's why they're in 10-7 sounds like this. Thunder, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Lakers. Pelicans and Lakers are both at 41-39. If they can get a win, the Lakers can push themselves out of the play-in because the Clippers and Warriors are at 42-38. It is the Denver Nuggets still pacing the West at 52-27, followed by the Grizz at 50-30, the Kings at 48-32, and the Suns at 44-35. The Nuggets, Grizzlies, Kings, and Suns have all clinched.
We welcome you to the Masters on ESPN.
The majority of my patients with sensitivity, I see irritated gums and weak enamel. Sensodyne sensitivity gum and enamel. Relief sensitivity helps restore gum health and rehardens enamel. I'm a big advocate of recommending things that I know work.
Lowe's knows deals, so you can find the color you like and the price you love. Buy one, get one 50% off on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pans. HGTV Home by Sherwin Williams and Cathy. Shop Spring Fest deals now only at Lowe's. Championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions with exclusive access. We are going there to win. And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness? If you've ever experienced the warning signs of bad circulation, then you need Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation.
All right, I appreciate you listening in and staying with me here for this regional semi between Michigan and Quinnipiac. We are going to be getting to the third period, I imagine, pretty shortly here. It's still a 2-2 tie. I didn't think we would have anybody on the YouTube side. Again, admittedly, if it was NHL or NBA or MLB, they'd probably be filled in. But for college side, I don't think a lot of people follow all of that. But again, I couldn't just get away from this assignment. I had to cover it. And again, I'll be covering the regional final on Saturday. Whether it is Quinnipiac or Michigan play Minnesota, I'm going to be here for that side. And if it is Minnesota on that end, I think it'll be very difficult for me to not go for them just because of the USA development team and all that. But again, with all due respect to my friend Griffin Cass on that side, is a Quinnipiac University alum. I know he's doing the broadcast on his school end side. I know he's got to be very happy. So if it is Quinnipiac in Minnesota, I'd be happy on that side too. It's going to be a lot of fun to cover that. I think I'd be a little bit less stressed. I'll tell you that admittedly, when it's not one of the only hometown teams trying to get it done. So here we go. Third period puck drop. It's 2-2. It's a 2-on-1 immediately. Ridley trying to get this in between his skates, and he can't locate it as he couldn't just corral the pass. And it was immediately a breakdown for Quinnipiac. Michigan's got the offensive zone puck possession as they fire it wide of the right side wall. This gets sent in deep. Can Quinnipiac get it out? Michigan started this third period, I should say, with the puck immediately off a breakout. It was Brind'Amour off the 2-on-1. And that's what created some possession. And now maybe here the other way, off of a 1-on-2, Michigan will find it. So Pearson will pull this back, and now this will be an opportunity for Gavin Brind'Amour. Gavin Brind'Amour trying to get around Collin Graf and plays this up the backhand as will touch the stick of Yaniv Perets. And now Michigan picks it up near the right side wall as this is off the right side of the red line now. And now Quinlan tries to get this out. Again, he's got a pair of goals. They were all in the first, just a Fantilli tally in this second period. That was almost a tongue twister. This is picked up now by Seamus Casey. This is almost flawed, but this goes off the right pad of Perets. Body contact might have hit one of the fallen down Wolverines. Now Quinlan will get this. Here's a break pass. Oh, is it saved? And this is saved, and now it's in. Portillo couldn't find it. He couldn't find it in between his backside. He stopped the first. He couldn't locate the puck. And now Quinnipiac takes the lead, and it's the Quinlan line. The first line, this one's going to belong to Sam Lipkin, and the Bobcats take the lead. It's 3-2. And that was just a play off of good fighting. And again, this is a second goal. Quinnipiac throws this off the backside. This one goes off the right skate of Portillo. So one of the goals went off his back, off his jersey. This one goes off his right skate 2 times, going to the bank. And Quinnipiac cashes out. They take a 3-2 lead. And those are just some excellent goals for Quinnipiac. They've seen the writing on the wall. Again, I understand how hard it is to bank a goal off of somebody, but they're keeping their eyes up when they're making the play. And those are great goals by Quinnipiac, and they made Michigan pay. So they might have given up an opening break in the third when Brind'Amour couldn't get a shot off, but now they bank it in, and now Quinnipiac takes the lead early. So this is put across the blue line, and it's sent all the way down. And is this going to be ice? No, it's not. Quinnipiac will pick this up now. As this is a battle for the puck into the neutral zone. Again, Michigan has just conceded. It's Lipkin with 1 and Quinlan with 2. The first line's got all 3 goals for Quinnipiac. Seamus Casey and Adam Fantilli with the goals for Michigan, but they need 1 more to get this game level. 18 minutes left to go in the third. Johnny with it from Amalie Arena. Here's another opportunity for Quinlan, and that one goes off the right pad of Eric Portillo as it's all Bobcats within this first 2 minutes now. Picked up off the backhand. Quinnipiac tries to be patient, and this gets stolen. Can they get this across the right side wall? Good close out by Quinnipiac. And now a great play. This could be a 2-on-1 loft, and this one gets fired wide. That was Quinlan again. He's been looking for his hat trick about 5 different times. Now in behind the net, they're trying to bank this off the backside of the cage where the Bobcats have it now. Picked up as the Wolverines desperate trying to get this out down to 17-20. Again, they've just conceded. It was a Lipkin goal. Played out of the high slot, out of the air, settled down by Desi Berger. And now Michigan's got to be exhausted as this is picked up in behind their net. And Portillo He's just holding on at left post. Michigan just can't get this out of their zone right now, but now they finally will. Into the neutral zone, but here come the Bobcats. Michigan, I think, was just fortunate enough to get a forward change, and here's an outstretched pass, and this is iced. So Michigan cannot change. Bobcats get an offensive zone to send this out in front of Portillo, and Michael Lombardi, he was trying to hook Hughes to get a piece of that stick and put it in, but Hughes just got in the way to deny Quinnipiac goal number 4, goal number quattro on that end. And this is 2 goals off the backside, pretty much, of Eric Portillo, as Quinnipiac takes the lead. So can they win this offensive zone draw? It's a puck battle that was kind of a push draw. And Michigan now will pick this up off the backhand and send it down. But this goes into the players' bench first. So we'll get a neutral zone look at it. It's 16:45. John here with you for this Frozen 4 regional semifinal at Amalie Arena. We're at Tampa Bay right now. I'm glad you can join me here. The televised broadcasts on ESPN2. We're doing this on the radio side between Twitter Spaces and YouTube. Griffin Cass, he's got to be a happy man right now, out of the Quinnipiac University alum right now, as his team has just taken a 3-2 lead. Again, admittedly on my end, this is more of a Michigan call, but nonetheless, we try to call it as fair as we can. And Quinnipiac, they've been the better team throughout this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And some headstrong goals to make the play in Portillo when you can see that space. Even off the backside of the skate, you got to get the goals however you can get them. And now play into the neutral zone, as this was knocked away by Michigan and picked back up in their 27th Frozen 4 appearance. Quinnipiac, if they win this one, they'll go to their first final ever. They're trying to win their first championship ever. As this is picked up now, it's a great program by Rand Pecknold, about 29 years of experience. As this is shot wide near the left side red line. Here come the Wolverines. The Maize and Blue trying to make something happen. A chance in the high slot. This is canceled off by Perets as he met it the whole way near the left side red line. Now this will be a backhanded cross crease that will be lifted wide across the left wall. It was lifted, but this will go back into the offensive end. Now on the high slot, Michigan fire a sharp angle shot, trying to play like the Flames there. And this is picked up now. Although it's put across the block, Adam Fantilli able to locate it and send it down. Yana Perets will make the safe play. And around the end boards here for the Bobcats as they can try to go left to right. Here's a race for the puck. Quinnipiac able to get it. Portillo will brush to the side with the left pad as this gets flipped down the ice from about 100 feet. But recollected now by Quinnipiac. They're just taking the lead from Sam Lipkin. And now Michigan trying to find this now into the neutral zone, but the lift is canceled. Big contact on the other end as one of the Michigan defensemen, I think that was Hughes, laid out one of Quinnipiac's players. Here's Mackie Samoskevich. Samoskevich now trying to play this in between the legs is Fantilli. And now 4-on-2 for Quinnipiac. They got the entry. Here's Quinlan into the traffic. This goes off the left side of the outside post of the cage and picked up now by TJ Hughes. TJ near the right side wall. He gets canceled off by Metsa as Michigan starts to flee. As this gets picked up by the Maize and Blue near the left side of the red line. Here's a chance for Holtz. Third line defense out there for a Fornato squad. As this is picked up now by Michigan. They need a goal. There's still tons of time, but they're down 3-2. It's 14:30 left to go in the third. John Under with you on the call. Again, as I've said, I've been admittedly nervous throughout this because I know that Michigan doesn't have the same horses, and Quinnipiac wants their revenge from last year with a lot of returners. This is sent down nicely through the paint, and Michigan didn't shoot it. They wanted to go through the backhand, and they continue to move this around. They keep it in the offensive end. Good play off the backhand, but one of the Wolverines loses their stick, and they'll blow the play dead. Is Michigan going on the power play is the question. I think Halliam lost the stick. Christoph Filion might be taking the penalty, and according to Rand Pecknold's face, shaking his head, I think the Wolverines are going to take their third power play of the contest. It's a high sticking call, and we are going to get a Michigan power play when we return. That was some good body contact. Halliam lost the puck. It was a slash on Filion. When we go to the break, Michigan be on the power play again.
Easter fun made easy. That's Toby Target.
Subway keeps upping their game with the Subway Series, an all-star menu of delicious subs. There's the Philly, the Monster, the Bone.
If I hadn't seen it in person, I wouldn't believe it.
You just believe in stuff. The Subway Series. Try Subway's tasted menu upgrade gift.
Lowe's knows deals.
find the color you like and the price you love. Buy one, get one 50% off on 1 gallon cans, 5 gallon pans. HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams and Cabot. Shop Springfest deals now, only at Lowe's.
Really? Free testing and charging? And if you need
So here's a rare mistake on the other end for Quinnipiac with the high sticking. Again, that was Christophe Fillon, third line. He's out there with Chenelart and Tellier. Two Christophs, Fillon and Tellier, and then Chillier is in the middle on the centerman side, but a rare mistake off the slash. And again, when we talk about in the second period when Michigan got a power play opportunity, they didn't score. They don't want to fall 0-3. This power play line is one of the better ones that we have in Division I hockey. They're almost at the 25 percentile. They've got to be able to take advantage. So when we talk about in the second one, they could. Now in the third, Quinnipiac's going to look to batten down the hatches. You're looking at Nicky Pecknold. But when they want to batten down the hatches for Quinnipiac, you got to be able to get the job done. And the only way you can do that is getting a power play goal here from Michigan, because I don't think they're going to concede much in front of Perets. So here's puck drop. Michigan on their third power play. It's just underway now with 14 minutes in the third. Here's good passing here for Luke Hughes. In the high slot now on the right side, Adam Fantilli. There's this one by Samoskevich. And this is swallowed up in the glove hand by Perets as they push Richter McGordy out of the way, and we get a stoppage with 13:54, an offensive zone upcoming here for the Michigan Wolverines. John, out here with you. Alongside the ESPN2 televised feed is one of the twigs broken in half. I think that was a goalie stick on the other end, so they're going to have to get something repaired for Perets. But we have the TV feed on ESPN2. I'm broadcasting alongside the radio side for Twitter Spaces and YouTube on that end. I hope you guys are enjoying this nightcap of the Frozen Four semi between Michigan and Quinnipiac. It is a 3-2 lead as Sam Lipkin had scored the latest goal in the third. That's the only we had in the third so far. We only had one in the second. It was Adam Fantilli. And then Seamus Casey in a pair for Quinlan in the first. His offside entry here for the Maize and Blue. And we'll do this again in the neutral zone with 13:39. So whoever wins this game is going to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And when you think about Logan Cooley and Matthew Nyes and some of the other players like that, Jimmy Snuggerud, there are some exceptional pieces for Minnesota and Bob Metzko's squad. I'm not saying they won't be favored against Quinnipiac, but still, Quinnipiac, the way they're playing against Michigan, they deserve everything they're getting right now. They've been the better team. Michigan gets their third power play, probably won't get any more. Quinnipiac does not commit a lot of mistakes, so this is a critical one. Samoskevich now for Brind'Amour. They tried a lot of crisscross passing in between the middle of the slot, but Quinnipiac knows that. They've cut that off as it's sent back down here for Eric Portillo. Down to a minute left to go in the third power play. 13 minutes thereabouts there to go left in this part of regulation, and that will only be extended if Michigan scores. It's 3-2 Quinnipiac. Brind'Amour on the right side wall, can't locate. Now D. Hughes will send this across, gets it back. He'll fire the bomb. This one gets blocked out front by Quinnipiac. Bounces off the Zebra's left arm, and this will stay in play. Now on the high slot, Hughes thought about it. He sent it way wide. He just absolutely missed that by a mile. TJ tries to put this one across the bumper. Here's Luke. Now send this back here. Off the bar! Just hit the crossbar for Michigan ahead. Yaniv Perets dead to rights. Here it is again as this gets blocked out in front. Another opportunity off the blocker of Perets and sent back down. That was off the outside of the right bar and out. Michigan came that close. Here's a spin move. Casey keeping alive across the neutral zone. Michigan goes 0 for 3 on their power play, but they've been dangerous. They've gotten close pretty much 2 of the 3 times. This is a sent back down. Here's a break for the man out of the box. Saved by Portillo. Rebound, another save by Portillo. He's down and out twice and makes the save. My goodness, this should be 5-2. Portillo with some highway robbery. And now this is sent back in behind his office. The job is not done. Quinlan sends it out. Here's Berger. And now the third line defense for Ram Pecknold's squad. Portillo absolutely keeping his team in the game right now as it's 11:25 left to go in the third. This has been a fantastic game. I'm glad we can cover it. Win, lose, or draw on either side. and this is picked up now. Michigan will have to race for this puck, as this will be Mazur. He gets knocked down. Third line zone for Renato's squad, and this gets picked up by the Bobcats. They try to go right to left, as this is canceled across the left side of the wall. This is sent back around the end boards. Maize and Blue try to get it out. This takes a friendly bounce for Michigan. Can get this into the neutral zone now on the offensive side, but it's 1-on-4. Here's the back pass. Great defense. Again, the Bobcats at this point, as they should, they're committing everybody else they can into the middle of the slot, making sure Perets doesn't have to make a save and denying any sort of opportunities for Michigan to get anything going. It was a perfect pass. It was Lepkin looking for his second. Portillo outweights him, and then another one. They try to send this off his back for a third time in this game for a goal, and that one goes just wide across the blue pan. In the previous possession for Michigan, off the slap shot, 1T goes off the right side of the bar. So Michigan gets the offensive zone draw. Seamus Casey sends it to the net, and Perets closes it down 5-hole. Trying to jump out of the air was Michigan, but they can't hold it in. Now into the neutral zone. 10-20 left to go in this third. Picked up off the backhand. Casey finds it in the high slot. Shoots in through the traffic. It was McGordy providing the screen, but it gets sent back down off the embankment. 10-15 left to go in this third. Casey tries to pick it up. Brind'Amour, he gets ridden hard into the right side boards, and he gets knocked down as Michigan might be able to take some changes. They'll flip this in. This bounces off the back of Brind'Amour. Try to get picked up in the neutral zone, but admittedly it sticks in between Michigan and Quinnipiac as it finds the stick of Perets. We've hit the halfway marker of the third. Quinnipiac's got a 3-2 lead, and if they can hold this, they will play Minnesota in the final. There's a shot in off the rush. Portillo closes it out with the right glove hand. As we get some pushing and shoving, Lombardi holding on Edwards toward the right side of the boards, but don't think we're going to have much more than that as everyone's got the face cages. They kind of disapprove of fighting more so than they did in college hockey. Now they cut that down a little bit, but 9:47 in the third. Commercial break. Quinnipiac up 3-2.
JT Wentworth, how can I help you get cash?
I want to pay off my debt and move into my own place, but I need cash now to do it.
Do you get regular payments from an insurance company?
Yes, monthly, but the thing is, it's my money and I need it now.
Right. In exchange for some or all of your future payments, we give you a lump sum of cash now. Call now and you'll also get $25 for receiving a quote. Call 877-CASH-NOW.
Thanks.
So as we're in the middle of a commercial break, and I think about everything else that's been going on now, you think about the lock and key Rand Pecknold's squad wants to be able to provide for the rest of this third period. I think everything else is going across the plan. If Michigan could do this game over, and again, you don't get those at this point in the game, I think that they would lament some of those defensive mistakes that led to breaks. I understand it happens, but it happened a little bit too often, and that allowed Eric Portillo to have to make a couple saves, some of those ones he couldn't, but I'll make no bones about it right now. If it wasn't for Portillo, more so than Yaniv Perets, everybody talks about how good Perets is, and for good reason. If it wasn't for Portillo right now, I mean, this game could easily be 5-2. I don't think it's unfair to say that on that end. So they are showing the trophy that is awaiting the winner here of Division I hockey. We're in the Frozen Four at Amalie Arena. John and I with McCall. It's an offensive zone draw here for Quinnipiac. They are halfway home to winning this game against Michigan and having a date against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That one is going to be on Saturday at 8 Eastern. Regardless of who wins this game, I will have that call for you at that point on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side at John Wayne on. Admittedly, I'll be a little sad on that end if it is in Michigan, but we have to take it as it comes. Quinnipiac's been a great team. I know Griffin Cass will be celebrating. I'll be happy for him on that side. So Michigan now trying to get into the neutral zone. They got to throw the right side wall. Here's a tall drag. A couple Michigan players get taken down and amongst the bowling pins. This could be an opportunity here for Burgert as he had to ride the right side wall. And now Michigan will collect. They're starting to run out of time. Shots on goal are dead even, 26-25 in favor of the Wolverines. Quinnipiac's got that 1-goal edge, and that's where it matters in the score chyron. It reads 3-2. Lipkin with the latest. Quinlan's got 2. It's Seamus Casey. And on the other end, Adam Fantilli in the second period for Michigan. This is an opportunity. Good save, Portillo, as he brushed it with the right of the pad. He was a Sabres product, but now he is a product of the LA Kings as he was traded at the deadline. Yaniv Perets will hold on. He'll make the save. 8:40 left to go in this third. Michigan gets an offensive zone draw upcoming. So Portillo, big again, as he was patient and he got Desi Bogert a little bit. It was a little bit of a lift. He tried to get one of the Kucherov type goals, the no deep type touch goals. I just slide those in past the goalie, and that was denied off the right pad. And again, being 6'6", that does help. You got a lot of reach. So Ethan DeYoung, Lipkin, all those guys are taking a change. The first line is not out there right now for Quinnipiac. We'll see if it is for Michigan. They do win the draw. Fantilli is going to let one go, and this one will go off the right side of the inboards. Quinnipiac now down to 8 minutes and 30 seconds with the lead in the third, as this will go D-to-D. Sent down for Luke Hughes. Hughes now fired into the screen. Perets holds. 8:24 left to go in the third. He saw that all the way. There was some Michigan players. There was some maize and blue in front, but he made the save. 8:24, we get a stoppage. It'll be another offensive zone draw upcoming for the Wolverines. So who is going to be the hero? There is a lot of talk with Adam Fantilli again being the second or third pick in the draft. We know Connor Bedard's going to be the consensus numero uno. But what other freshman is going to step up? Is it Mackie Samoskevich? Is it Brindley? Is it Hughes? Is it Duke? There's got to be somebody, maybe even Luke Hughes. That's always the guy that they hold on and depend on to make plays in the defensive end. But right now, they just need to keep getting more shots and more pressure. This has got to be a third period where the puck stays in one end and one end only, because Quinnipiac's been playing Michigan very evenly across the whole board. So picked up now near the left side walls. Mackie Samoskevich gets the brush across. Michigan gains the entry. Samoskevich again will crisscross this with Mazur as this is held in across the right wall. Seamus Casey had this knocked away from him out of the air. And we'll see if the Bobcats can send this in deep and get this out of their own end. They will off of the pass. This goes across the emblazoned end logos. They have the Final Four logos across the center ice of the Frozen Four at Amalie Arena. That's where the lighting bolt normally would be. And this is picked up now for the Wolverines. Nice entry to the left side wall. Fantilli with a short side snapper. And this is picked up off the pinch by one of the defense. And now here come the Bobcats. They should have some numbers here. It's 4-on-3. Picked up into the neutral zone. Fantilli is appropriated a 200-foot game, and he'll go back into his own end as Michigan tries to go left to right in the breakout. We're down to 7:15 in this third. Michigan needs a goal if they want to be able to keep this season alive. Quinnipiac eyeing a date there with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Nicely sent around the inboards here for the Bobcats. They'll try to pick it up now to the right side wall. The next goal is going to be a disaster, and it is! They score from an obscure angle, and Quinnipiac takes a 2-goal lead. That's probably going to be it. I don't see any way that Michigan turns this around. It's Zach Metsa fires it in at the 7-minute marker, and that was a disastrous goal for all the good that Portillo has done. It stunned him near the left side boards. No reason for that to happen, but again, sometimes those things do happen. You get beat, you don't see it. That's the last thing Michigan needs right now, and that's probably going to be the undoing. Zach Metsa with the 9th goal of the season. And that's going to send the Bobcats and my friend Griffin Cass into a frenzy. They should be going to the national championship game on Saturday against Minnesota, unless Michigan pulls a rabbit out of the hat with 6:35 in the third. As this is in the offensive zone now, Seamus Casey will take a look. Now they're the left side boards. Michigan needs 2 goals in a hurry. With 6:20 left or thereabouts, you need to go within 3 minutes and 3 minutes again. That's pretty much what you got. Into the traffic. This is picked up now. They got to respond. Here's a slap shot around the inboards, bounce off the outside of the cage. Michigan trying for something fancy, trying to bank it off Perets like we did Portillo a couple times. And this is sent in again to the traffic. You can sense the desperation for the Wolverines. Nolan Moyle gets canceled off the puck as the fourth line's out there right now. And Ornato trying to make anything happen right now, shuffling these lines. The Maize and Blue are down by 2. This could be it right now with 5:50 left in the third. I have to just say it as obvious as you can. Quinnipiac's buckled down. They've looked good throughout this entire contest. You got to give them full marks. They deserve to be here. They've had the better record. They've been a Division I standout. And Yaniv Perets hasn't been tested anywhere near as much as Eric Portillo. And that was one goal where Portillo failed the test. It's really all you can say. Mackie Samoskevich, but if it wasn't for Portillo, this wouldn't even be a 4-2 game. This would be 7-2 at this point. So here we go on the other end. Mackie Samoskevich now try to gain the entry here for Michigan. They're on life support, down 2. There's a pass across. They don't shoot. Instead, try to look for a backhand. You got to fire that on. You got to get something on Perets. And this is picked up now. And toward the right side red line. Back to Michigan in their own end as they're down to 5 minutes. Luke Hughes now into the neutral zone. Michigan needs an entry. Now Dizzy Bogert will just calmly make the right play. Send this down. This is going to be a race for the puck. This will get picked up by the Bobcats as it against the icing. And now Gavin Brindley will be the next to get to it. He's the second line right wing as he's in full rush. And this is a McGorty pass that goes to nobody but the Bobcats. It's a careless one. Kind of looked like Jonathan Huberdeau on that end. Cooper and I always talk about the Calgary side. 4:30 left to go. This is Michigan's last chance here upcoming. Here's a slap shot from 50 feet. And this is sent back, saved by Perets. Brindley trying to fire it onto the traffic. Bobcats find it. This just seems like desperation here for these chances. They still have time to set things up, but right now Michigan just firing things out and see if they can get a bounce. That's not going to get it done against somebody like Perets. Down to 4 minutes now. We're at Amalie Arena. John out here with you. Quinnipiac wants to play against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, make their first appearance in national championship history. They're less than 3 minutes, 3:50 away from doing so. Now the right side of the red line. Michigan in front. And this one bounces off of a stop-up and cleared it down the ice. 30 shots on goal to 27. Michigan has to collect in their own end. There'll be an opportunity here for Brindley. Mackie Samoskevich out there as well. Michigan, do or die time as they'll flip it in. 3:30 left to go in this game. They're down 4. They're down 2. It's 4-2. And now this is an opportunity. Quinlan, here's a sauce pass, and this can't be collected by the Bobcats, but they can effectively just kill more time. That's what matters right now for Quinnipiac. Just keep killing time and keeping this in Michigan's defensive end. It's a perfect opportunity here. Rand Pecknold and his squad can taste it. As we continue to count down this time, we're down to 3 minutes here on the ESPN2 broadcast. Here's an opportunity now for TJ Edwards. As this will try to go left to right. Michigan can't get it in, and they'll go back into the defensive end now. Here's a rush. Mackie Samoskevich off the drop for Luke Hughes. Try to find Samoskevich. And now Michigan pulls the goalie. Eric Portillo has vacated the crease. 2:40 left to go in the third. Quinnipiac scores now. I've already said it's over. It's really over at that point. Quinnipiac will be going to the national championship game on Saturday. Portillo, not in the goal crease. Seamus Casey will pinch. This is picked up in the offensive end here for the Wolverines. They try to send us to the left side wall. Quinnipiac gets it down. This will be icing. So 2:19 left to go in this third. Michigan needs a pair of goals. Quinnipiac up by 2. Michigan's done all they can right now. They have to pull Eric Portillo as Metsa had nowhere left to go near the right side wall. And you know what? Sometimes you fire it at the net. You see what happens. You make the correct play, and it just ate up Eric Portillo. It was a great roof shot. No bones about it. That was at the 7-minute marker, but that's one that cannot go in if you're Michigan. And even for all the stops that Portillo has made, and again, I could argue that this could be a 7-2 game at this point, all for Quinnipiac. Portillo can't allow that one, and he did, and it's a 2-goal lead. So Michigan in desperation time. They've been so since about the 6-minute marker of the third, since it's been conceded. 2:19 left to go in this third in the empty net pool for the Maize and Blue. that is where they are right now. And again, with the timeout and the usage, you take whatever else you can use if you're Michigan, whether it's Fantilli, Samoskevich, McGorty, Luke Hughes, Keaton Pearson, whatever defensive prospects that you implore the most that can make plays, and Hughes and Casey, probably go with that. McGorty, Fantilli, and Samoskevich, you probably go with that, and you just let the chips go. You send it all in with 2:19 in the third. That's your only option here. This is a much different game from the 7-4 scoreline that it was last year, but at the same time, not so much, because Michigan had a lot more offensive talent then. Yaniv Perets did a great job last year, but he was under siege because of the Michigan prospects that have been lost from this year. But again, that's no excuse on my end. You have all of those fabulous freshmen. They just weren't able to get the puck in the zone. So after Michigan takes their timeout, Van Pecknold's going to do the same damn thing. So he's going to rest his line. Michigan will rest their best lines, and you have about 2:15 left to go in this game of where the best will go against the best. And even as I've called it over the last 6:30, where I think this game is all but over, it really is. Quinnipiac scores again, it's done. And they will have a date with Minnesota. And for everything else that I found, just going to be honest and say this. I do believe Quinnipiac has a shot in the final against the Golden Gophers. But the more that I've watched Logan Cooley and Jimmy Snuggerud and Matthew Nyes and some of the other players that Minnesota provides, I think their offensive attack is even greater than Michigan's. So that defensive prospect for Quinnipiac, I think they're going to be more of a test. I think Perets will be a busier man. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. Maybe along the lines of a 6-4 Minnesota type deal. The Quinnipiac can certainly get it. I just think they're going to have to be ready to play more defense on Saturday. That is just my humble opinion. Does Quinnipiac have a shot to win the whole damn thing? You bet. They definitely do. As this is an offensive zone draw. Here's an opportunity now. Samoskevich sends this across Fantilli, and this one will get blocked before it hits Perets. And it's not taken out of the zone, but that is a forced pass by Michigan, and they'll flip it down. Does Quinnipiac. This will be iced again with $1:58 left to go in the game. John, here with you on the call. There is no timeouts either way. Michigan with the net pool. It's 1:58 left to go. They need a pair of goals just to get into OT, as there is so many happy Quinnipiac fans. I imagine Griffin Cass doing the live broadcast for his university in Quinnipiac. He's got to be thrilled of what he's seeing right now, because he has a chance to call the first national championship in school history. It's going to be a stiff test against Golden Gophers, and this is an offensive and net empty opportunity. Is this off the post or in? No, this is in. So Quinnipiac is going to go to the national title game. I know it's 1:45 left, but you got to give them their flowers now. It's a 5-2 lead. It's been all Bobcats. Michigan did not play a great game, and they deserve their fate. That's really all you can say. Van Pecknold, we talked about it last year in between Michigan and Quinnipiac, how great of a coach he's been. Maybe that team from last year was a little bit overpowered. Not so much this year. So we will see a hooking call. Michigan going to the box, and Quinnipiac has scored the goal. There's your double whammy, a little bit of pressure luck. Luke Hughes tries to hook. Ethan DeYoung, doesn't matter, still scores the goal, and it's a 5-2 lead for Quinnipiac, and they will go to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. This is where I admit to you that I'm a little sad that Michigan did not play a better game. But, again, as I've said, I try to call everything as straight down the middle as possible. Quinnipiac was the better team. They dominated the whole game. And their big guns, when you think about Quinlan with 2, Lithium with 1, their big guns already have 3 goals. DeYoung on the third line side, the big guns for Michigan did not show up in this game. And they got bottled up by Quinnipiac because of that defensive effort. Again, when you talk about the 7-4 win last year is not this year. It's a different team, but this actually looks like a more structurally sound Quinnipiac team than I saw last year. When it was the goaltender, Yaniv Perets, held out to dry, not so much on this side. Defensively sound, they locked it down, they got it done, and we're down to the final minute. So Griffin Cass, my friend, very happy for you. I hope you enjoy it. Win, lose, or draw against Minnesota. You're going to the national championship, my friend. Have the time of your life. And I know he's going to be graduating the university in a couple of years. He's a little bit older, 36. I work with a lot of college kids now. But if it's Cooper Hopkins, he's more on my age. And Cooper, my buddy, if you listen to this at some point, your broadcast partner is a little sad, but we will definitely hook back up on Monday between the Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames, and that'll give me a little solace. But this is a tough one right now. To watch, not me to have to swallow some humble pie because I've given the flowers all for Quinnipiac all the way, but this Michigan team, if there was anybody in that locker room that felt that they were more confident and felt like they could win this game easily, that's a little bit of a reality check after today, the way that this game was played. 25 seconds left to go in the third now. Quinnipiac, empty net again. This one goes just outside, so it's now 5-on-5. Quinnipiac could fire this into the empty cage. It'll turn it over instead, and now Michigan will gain the offensive zone draw. Down to 10 seconds, but it's been all but over probably about the last 7. We knew that. I called it early. So down to 4. The sticks are tapping out of the air. And for the first time ever, Quinnipiac is going to the national championship game. They knock off the Michigan Wolverines 5-2, and they have a date with destiny. They will be taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That will be Saturday night on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock, and I will have the call with you in between the Quinnipiac Bobcats and the Michigan Wolverines. And let me correct myself, their first national championship since 2016. They're trying to get their first national championship ever. So that's the correction, as some of the Michigan players are starting to shed some tears. But the only tears that there should be shedding are tears of pain, because they got walloped by Quinnipiac today. And Quinnipiac deserves every single thing that they've gotten right now. A structurally sound game, a wonderfully played game. They dominated. So it's going to be Uno versus Dos. Minnesota versus Quinnipiac. That's going to decide it on Saturday on ESPN2 by 8 Eastern. I'll have that call with you. Until then, this is John Ott signing off for the semifinal. Quinnipiac will take this one, and they will play against the Minnesota Golden Gophers for a right to win the first national title ever. See you then. Peace. Thank you on that side, Dottie, for listening around. I'm going to close this feed. Humbly appreciate all of your support, even if it was in silence. It does make me feel a little bit better that there was somebody there to listen with me tonight. This is a tough one, but I'll recover, and we'll get back on the Saturday side. It's been a lot of fun. Talk to you guys soon.
To win your first national championship beating Minnesota and Michigan at the Frozen Four, what could be sweeter than that? Grant Pecknall in his 29th season as Quinnipiac's bench boss led the program down to 3 Frozen Fours, 3 national championship games, 8 ECAC championships, 9 NCAA tournament bids. ECAC Coach of the Year 4 times. And again,